just grew up in the restaurant life.
I started when I was 17.
Wow.
So my uncle came to my house and he said, "Do you want to work?" Sure. I get to the restaurant. They are like, "Okay, you're going in the kitchen."
Did you have any idea what you're doing?
Never held a chef knife in my life.
Like, I gave you a piece of meat, and I'm like, could you tell me how long it's been aged for? By
Not
just looking
exactly,
at it?
but you can tell if like I said, the surface area, if there is a lot of moisture, that you know that it's not ready.
But you can tell, like, just by looking and smelling that it's ready.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like
Wild.
Yeah,
That's wild.
Yeah.
you weren't. I know when I first told you, I said you got to come on the podcast. You're like, yeah, I'll get Carmelo Anthony to come on. I was like, huh? Is he? I'm assuming another cool, down to earth guy.
Yeah.
He seems like
Oh, yeah.
super laid back. and
Loves
cool.
wine.
You a wine drinker too?
Oh yeah.
Red or
I
white?
love pairing cigars with wine.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Burn Down Podcast. In the studio today, we have a good friend of ours, the owner of One Rare Steakhouse. Used to be were you a manager at Ben & Jack's? One of the owners?
No, I was manager. Right?
Manager at Ben & Jack's in the city. My boy, Chef Admir Alibasic. What up, my friends? What's going on?
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome to be here. We're so excited for you to be here. It's been a long time coming, my friend.
Yeah, I haven't had a cigar in a while, so perfect.
Really?
Love it.
Yeah, it's been cold.
Well, I thought you were like an everyday cigar guy.
When it gets warmer, yeah.
Yeah.
When it gets warm. Yeah, I get you. No, I get you, man. If I didn't have this, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I know. This is a great setup in here.
Yeah.
But Chef Admir comes with some goodies.
Bearing gifts.
He comes with a bag of cigars, which we always like. Some new stuff that we haven't smoked yet.
Yeah, I'm
And-
excited. This stick of dynamite that I'm about to smoke
And
here.
some One Rare Italian Steakhouse hats, which we're gonna
Yes.
exchange instead of the BDP today.
So you know what's interesting?
Come
So
on.
what? So yeah. First off, let's exchange this, okay?
Nice.
So
These are nice,
Pop
fit nice and
this off.
snug.
pop this
These are brand new hats.
Yeah, brand new.
Where can people get them? At your restaurant?
Yeah, they can get to the restaurant. I haven't had. I'm not selling them, but we
Yeah.
just give them away.
Oh yeah, merch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got that.
It's a
But
marketing expense. We learned.
What's interesting is that so One Rare, there's a restaurant. There's two restaurants here on Long Island. There's actually a few. There's one down the block, 110. Then there's a restaurant on Jericho Turnpike called Rare 650. And then I'm like, and Rare 650 is like a steakhouse, and then 110 is an Italian joint. And now it's like you have One Rare Italian Steakhouse. I'm like, it's like combined.
In Westchester. In Westchester.
I'm like, it's so I say One Rare Italian Steakhouse. I'm like, it's like a combination of the two rest, 110 Italian and Rare 650 Steakhouse.
Yeah, Justin's a
Justin
Long
both.
Island boy. We're up in Westchester,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're right down the block, essentially, from where I live, and it's my favorite place, man. I brought when you first opened, because you opened up what, about a year ago?
We opened in January of 23.
Oh, wow, okay. So
January 23, so it's been 2 years.
yeah,
Yeah.
2 years. So we first met actually through one of my friends. We'll give him a shout out. My friend Ryan Durham from college.
Yep.
He used to go to your spot, Ben & Jack's in the city, and I guess you guys were hanging out, smoking cigars.
Yeah, he started getting into cigars, and I would give him like pointers, and I would give him certain kinds of cigars to try, new ones. So
That's so funny.
I've had probably over 300 different types of varietals.
Oh, I know. You're a huge cigar guy.
You got him, man.
And
Yeah.
That's how we were before we came out with our
Yeah,
own
before our
cigar.
own.
I mean, I've always said that there's a blessing and a curse coming out with your own stick, because the blessing is you had an idea in your head of what you wanted. Now you're actually smoking it and you get to share it with the world. That's such a blessing. But the curse is all I smoke now is my own cigar. Like, I don't,
So this is kind of an treat. We're gonna smoke something
You
else
don't really
tonight.
smoke everything else
It's like a
unless you're kinda-
winemaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
Same thing.
unless you're doing research and you're trying to sample some other stuff and pick out what.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you brought these. So tell us about these, because
Well,
It's,
I was before I got interrupted per usual. So this is a common thing.
Right.
I start
It's
talking.
My
Justin
bad.
says to bring up another conversation. I was trying to give us the origin, how we got here, because it's important.
my bad, dude. I want to smoke.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what to do with my hands right now.
Well, today he
okay?
said I don't want to smoke 2 cigars. Now
I
we're
don't
on
feel
our
good
second-
now, so
All right,
let's
you're
go.
good.
I had a little allergy stuff going on, and I was like,
That'll
maybe I
clear
don't
up.
smoke. But yeah, no.
He was feeling a little under the weather today.
Yeah.
And so my friend Ryan texted me and you in a group chat and said, hey, my buddy opened up a new restaurant. Is this by you? And I said, yeah, it's right down the block. And we just kind of chit-chatted a little bit on text message. And then we had a meeting like a few months later, coincidentally, at the Cigar Networking
Cigar
event.
Night, yeah.
Right? And then we just exchanged information. And then I first went to your restaurant last November for my wife and I 3rd-year anniversary. Knocked it out of the park. My wife was like,
Thank you.
because we used to go to Benjamin's,
Right.
which is a part of your family, right?
One of my uncles is the owner.
One of your uncles, right? Okay. And so we used to go to Benjamin's all the time. And then we transitioned to One Rare. And she's like, I want to go back to this every single time because it's delicious.
I got to go now.
Oh.
You told me about it. I was like, dude,
It's
I
worth
got
the drive.
It's worth it. And then I went just for my wife's birthday. She's like, I want to go back for my birthday. I said,
We'll take the baby. Why not? We'll take the baby to dinner all the time. Dude.
So-
He sleeps right through
why
dinner.
So
Put him
Chef
in a car
Admir in
seat,
the
fills
building.
out, cool.
I'm excited. So let's light up these cigars. So what are these
Yes.
cigars that you gave us today?
So those are the Room 101 Johnny Tobacco Nuts. I've been smoking those for the past 2 months. They're Perfecto.
Wow.
It's Ecuador, Connecticut wrapper.
Okay.
And, it just hits the right spots. I love
Ecuador, Connecticut. So that's like our
Yeah.
diligent. I like the wrapper, dude.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
haven't had
almost
a
want
tobacco nut in a
to
minute.
light the tissue paper as like a
Yeah, this is nice. Look at this.
This is nice.
Thank you for this.
Nice
Look-
wrap. Wow,
Man,
look at this.
This is a
stick,
beautifully designed.
dude.
This is a beautiful design.
I
Cigar.
like
It'll be a tough draw in the beginning, like Perfecto. but
Yeah,
then
that's
it'll
fine.
Just open up.
Yeah, because you got tapered on both
Yeah.
ends,
Yeah.
so that smoke's not gonna. This was like my wedding cigar was the Arturo Fuente
BBMF.
Opus X BBMF the Purple Rain, where it had
Yeah.
like and it was like this.
That
and
cigar tasted like smoked meat.
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever had that
I've had it
cigar.
before.
That cigar
Not crazy
is
about it.
wild.
I was the only time I had it was at his wedding, but that was the only time I ever had that cigar where I actually tasted like rich smoked meat in a cigar.
I had
You
It
know
was
what's
bizarre.
similar to that? I brought it. It's actually from Dunbarton. It's called Red Meat Lovers.
Oh yeah, sure.
So
I've
it's
seen
something
that.
similar to that.
Is
in my
that
opinion.
so.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, so Chef Admir in the building, and we're lighting up cigars. Let's talk about
Food.
Let's talk. Well, before we get into food, I want to get a little bit of history. Who the hell is Chef Admir? How did he get into where he is? Who were you in high school?
Yeah, man.
You know, how were you growing up? Because your family owns a bunch of
Yeah,
steakhouses,
they own a
Ben and
bunch of
Jack's,
restaurants,
Benjamin's. Now you own One Rare. So, you just grew up in the restaurant
I
life.
started when I was 17.
Wow.
So my uncle came to my house and he said, "Do you want to work?" I was like, "Sure." I get to the restaurant. They're like, "Okay, you're going in the kitchen." I'm like, "Okay."
Did you have any idea what you're
Never
doing?
held a chef knife in my life. I walk in the kitchen. The chef goes to me, "Prep." I'm like, "What do you want me to do?" He's
fuck
like,
does
"I
that
don't have
mean?
time." He's like, "Just prep."
You're like, what does
So-
prep mean?
I just start.
What
I
does
just
that mean?
start watching and learning. And that night was about 400 and something covers. 9 o'clock, I walk out. My uncle goes, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm training." He's like, "No, go back in the kitchen."
Wow.
And the rest is history.
And where'd you grow up? You grew up in New York?
I grew up in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Wow.
So you were 17, never held a chef's knife in your
No.
life, had no idea what you were doing.
Nope.
And they just threw you in there, said, figure it out.
That's it.
And
And
from
then-
that day, you were hooked. And
Yeah. But I never stopped learning. So I learned every aspect. So then I worked manager and then the office work. So I just kept progressing. But now with cooking, most of the stuff I do now is more charity stuff. So
Oh,
I do,
okay.
I do like probably over 20 charity events a year.
Oh, so you just like you'll just cook a whole plethora of food for like a golf outing
Yeah.
or a charity or okay, that's pretty cool. Well, actually, I don't know. Have we hooked them up with Tony Peck's events?
Yeah, I was.
Bro, that's where we met.
Yeah.
You were at Tony Peck's recent networking event?
No,
Not
no.
the recent one.
Last year we met him.
It was
That's
last
what-
year, yeah.
last
Oh,
year.
so you were cooking at one of his.
I cooked at the golf outing.
He cooked at the
Oh, okay. You cooked at the
Yeah.
golf outing.
Yeah. That's how I got into actual playing golf.
Okay. So you were at the golf outing
Yeah,
last year.
yeah.
Okay, great. Because I don't know if I ran into you at the golf.
We met at the.
We met at Modern on the Rails
Yeah, Modern,
last
yeah.
year.
Yeah, but not at the golf
No.
outing.
Well,
No.
I don't know if I remember seeing you. I remember
Yeah.
seeing your tee, but I don't remember seeing you
I was
actually.
playing. That's why.
No, so were we.
Yeah,
but
that's
the
what I was,
cocktail
okay.
hour, I
Yeah,
don't
so
think
I was gonna
saw
say
you.
because at the golf outing we didn't see you.
No.
but we met at
No.
one of the like 5 events ago, 5 Modern on the
Yeah.
Rails events
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
But you weren't cooking at the
No,
Modern
no,
on the
no, I
Rails. You were
just
just a
showed
guest
up,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever thought about cooking at one of the Modern on the Rails events? Setting up like a table?
Yeah, I can always do it.
Yeah.
But Tony just invited me. I haven't really done anything like cooking there.
But you did it for the golf outing. We'll be there
Yeah, the
too.
golf outing.
Yeah.
That's-
Either-
that's-
Did you sign up for that golf outing?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm on the wait list for
yeah, we are.
because
We
he
got-
said it.
we
But
signed
he
the
said
list.
it like sold out almost immediately. I was like, well, I gotta play, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, if you need a third a single to fill in or 2 to fill in, just anyway.
That's the only reason why I got into golf is because of that event. I never
Wow.
played before.
Are you addicted now?
I played 72 rounds last year from June.
Yeah. How you playing?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
not bad.
It's a great golf
No.
golf and cigar, dude.
We'll smoke probably 3-4 cigars.
Oh hell yeah.
18 holes.
Yeah.
the best.
That's it. I love it.
We played as
I don't care
cold-
how it'll be 6 o'clock in the morning and we're teeing off and I'm
Hell
lighting
yeah.
up a stogie,
Yeah.
cup of coffee.
Yeah,
People are like,
yeah.
"You're smoking right now?" I said, "Dude, I can't golf without a cigar.
No.
I can't do it. Can't do it."
We played as cold as 41 degrees outside. So
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
You're in,
I've
yeah,
been-
you're in there.
So I'll tell you funny. I've been there. My buddy and I went out once. It was like 41, something like 41, 42. It might even dipped into 39s or something, but it was like right there on that 40. It was borderline like, yeah, we shouldn't be out here.
Yeah, it's brutal.
And I remember one hole, I took I had a 5-iron, and I hit a 5-iron really thin, and it sent a shock up my hands. The rest of the day, I didn't hit anything less than like a 7-iron. It was like if I had to do a 6, a 5, or a 4, nope. I went right to the hybrid. I was like, I'm not risking. I'm hitting either a wedge or like a hybrid because I'm not because my hand stung for like 3 holes. I was like,
Oh, it's bad.
not doing that. Fuck this.
That's yeah, no.
Fuck this.
No.
So you're 17 at your uncle's restaurant, and which is it still around this restaurant?
Yeah, it's still open.
Which one's that?
Ben and Jack's.
Oh, it is Ben and
Yeah, yeah,
Jack's.
yeah.
Oh wow. So how long has Ben and Jack's been around?
They opened in 2005.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
so they've been around for a while, 20 years.
So you're at 17, and then when was it when you realized, like, all right, I want to take the next level?
It was, I mean, being in the business for a while, my cousin approached me and asked me, hey, do you want to do something on your own? I said, yeah, let's do it. It's about time. So he found a place in Westchester, and, we went, looked at it, fell in love with it,
Yeah.
and we're like, let's do it.
Because it was almost about, what, 20 years when you first, because you started 2005, essentially?
I started 2006 around.
Yeah,
It
so
was
we're in
2006.
2025.
Now when you started, right? You said that you were just thrown into the kitchen. Were you thrown in as a chef?
No.
What were you thrown in?
Prep.
Just so you
That's
had
it.
to explain what
Yeah.
prep is because I didn't ever
So
work in the kitchen.
it's pretty much helping one of the stations. I was helping the salad station get ready for the dinner shift. So it was either like slicing potatoes or whatever the case was.
Oh, so you're
Prepping food.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
prepping
yeah,
food,
yeah,
prepping
yeah.
food.
Yeah, that's
now
it,
what?
yeah.
Now, at what point were you like? So you were in there, right? You're prepping the food. At what point? You're 17. At what point were you like, maybe this could be like a career for me? We're like, okay, maybe I don't want to. I want to go. Now I'm gonna start cooking stuff. Like, at what point was there like
Did
a
you have
shift,
any other
you
thing,
know?
anything else in your mind besides restaurant business, or was it always
So
restaurant?
I mean, I went to school. I majored in science and food science. So I eventually wanted to get my doctorate in physical therapy.
But doctorate in physical
but
therapy.
I just got sucked into the restaurant business.
Yeah.
So I think I did prep for a few months. It was probably 3 or 4 months, and then I started working salad station, and then did fryer. Then pretty much moved up every single position.
Is there like there's like a hierarchy
Oh,
to,
yeah.
to that? So
Oh,
like
yeah.
what's that like? Like what are the steps?
So
Like,
like, you
Delivery
would
boy?
start- dishwasher.
Dishwasher, yeah.
From dishwasher, then it depends on the station you're going to. But once you get to actually like assembling is a little easier. Like salad station, you're just assembling.
Yeah, you're
But
not
when
cooking anything.
Yeah, when it comes to actual cooking, that's where you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, because you can't serve any undercooked foods or anything.
Even the
like
side dishes, if you put a little too much salt or whatever the case is, you ruin the whole dish.
that. Yeah.
So it has to be consistent. So that took some time to progress.
I was
So
gonna
it
say, was that a scary jump?
oh yeah.
Going from like your
Oh,
first
yeah.
day into shit, I can't fuck this stuff up. Like I don't want somebody to run back. That food
No.
sucked.
Yeah.
I want to see the chef right now.
Especially when it came to like fishes, like tuna and something, you overcook it, forget it.
Oh,
It
yeah,
cooks
it's like-
so fast.
yeah.
You start getting worried. But now it's like it became automatic.
Now it's second nature.
Oh yeah, it's easy.
now my question is, you see in the movie sometimes like people at a restaurant but they can't pay the bill, so they go in the back and wash dishes.
That's never happened.
That's never happened.
No.
You ever
All
see-
right, okay. I got another question. So what? Now you can
tell me
answer
what's
this if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay, but I never worked in. I worked like in the restaurant, but I worked in a pizzeria. Okay, so I did work in food service industry. It was in a pizzeria. I was cooking some stuff in the back, but it was like simple stuff like chicken parms and chicken alla vacas and things that you go in a pizzeria, right? And my wife worked in service industry, never a chef, but she worked in the service industry. And we would always joke about we'd always ask people that are in the industry about, have you ever seen the movie Waiting?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So when there's like a complaint and they go in the back and they're like this, and I asked, it's like the rule number 1 is don't fuck with people that handle your food. So I always ask, I'm like, does that,
No.
can that happen in the back?
No.
Not in your restaurant, of course, but I was like, if
Yeah,
you
I mean, I
get
guess-
this to some other, like, you don't know, man. That guy could be having a fucking terrible day, and you're the last straw, and he's like, that's it. I'm fucking spitting in his burger.
Nah,
you know?
so that's some messed up shit.
That is messed up, but
No,
like,
that's nasty.
No, that's nasty.
it could happen.
Oh,
you know,
I'm
what
sure it
saying?
does. I'm sure it does.
No,
but
of course, in a restaurant of One
high-
Rare's
of high
caliber
stature.
would never ever happen.
Yeah, no.
But I'm just saying, like, that I always think about that. I'm like I'll see somebody complain and they're like just ripping the serve. First off, it's not the server's fault. The server didn't cook the food, right? Like, so you're yelling at the server. But then I'm looking at it, and go, you don't know. Like, they take your plate away and go in the back.
Yeah, you don't know what the fuck
Like,
they
you
do.
don't know. What if the server was like, that was it. That was the end of all. That's the work. And that day, he's like, I'm quitting, and I'm gonna drop your burger on the floor. You don't know.
Yeah.
That could come back, and there could be fucking rat shit in your potatoes. Like,
You're gonna start scaring people now.
I'm just saying, like, be nice to the fucking wait staff. Be nice to the
Moral
restaurant.
of the statement here is be nice to the wait
Be
staff.
nice to them. You don't fucking know what's gonna happen. Anyway, I digress. I get off on tangents. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, by the way, the cigars, like the draw on this is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy draw on this thing. I mean, I haven't smoked a figurado like this in a minute. Probably last time was like Olivia.
I'll be honest with you.
Milano.
You said that the draw wasn't. It actually wasn't that bad
No.
right off the bat.
Maybe the one I had recently, but no, they weren't.
I
These
don't
weren't
know.
bad.
It was pretty good right
Yeah,
off.
I
the
cut mine up pretty wide, so the draw is crazy right now.
Okay,
No,
so
they're
you're moving up, right? You moved up, and now you're into and now you say, okay, now it's like second nature. So you were at this restaurant, and now you're doing your chef. At what point did you start saying, okay, now I want to be, not like, because you're a chef at a restaurant. At what point were you like, maybe I want to be like, this is the rest of my life. I want to own a restaurant. I want to be executive chef. I want to, because you can be, the salad, you're the prepper, you're the salad guy, and now you're a chef. And you could just be like a regular chef for the rest of your life. But what made you say, no, I want to take the next, 'cause that's a big step to go from just a regular line cook to I'm executive owning a restaurant. I'm on TV shows,
I think it was when I started doing charity. That's where I really wanted to do something for myself, and eventually have my own place where I don't have to ask somebody, "Hey, can I do this? Can I do that?" I wanted to do things on my own. So I just didn't want to have anybody at that other level to tell me what I can and can't do. So that I want to say about probably 20. It was COVID. It was during COVID because I actually would go to the city. I would check on the restaurant. I ended up saving all the meat. It was $250,000 meat that was going to go in the garbage. Damn. So when I started realizing, hey, if I'm doing this for others, might as well just do it for myself. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we found a place, and rest is history.
So that's a question I want to bring up, like the steakhouse business, right? That's what you guys do. That's what the steakhouse is. It's all about the steak. Like, is there like amount of inventory you got to buy to start up? Like, where do you source the meat from? How do you choose the meat?
How does that even? Yeah.
Like, what's the background stuff that no one sees?
So you're talking about dry aged product. So you can't just take order a fresh cut and start cutting it that day. You got to age it for at least over 4 weeks. So you're sitting on inventory for 4 weeks, and you got to constantly
you're buying
cycle.
stuff. And the stuff you get in today, you're not selling it until
4 weeks.
4 weeks, because you gotta. So the stuff that's coming off the truck, it goes into like a whole aging process, and then the stuff you're serving today is the one that we picked up a month ago. It's been.
Yeah.
Oh, so your inventory is like on a 4 week cycle.
Yep. And if you don't do it right, you start messing up the cycle.
And you lose meat, and then
there are companies where you can call them and tell them, hey, I need something that's 3 or 4 weeks aged already, and they'll ship it to you. But if you start doing it yourself, you need to cycle it, and you got to you have to know how many shells you need a week. So
I feel like doing it yourself too, you have more control over.
You do,
because how well was it? Yeah, it was aged 4 weeks, and they ship it to you, but like, you don't know.
It's a whole science when it comes to aging.
Like how you don't know.
Is that where your background comes from in food science?
Yeah,
It kind of helps you.
You need to have the right temperature. It's the right humidity.
It's just like cigars.
Yeah,
just like cigars,
yeah.
aging cigars.
That's the same thing. And then also when you're like, let's say everybody says 28 days. Now, when you go and you cut it on that 28th day, that means that there was no outside variables to interfere with that 28 days. But you cut it and there's still moisture. Now, you're not going to cut an inch to a quarter and put it back in the walk-in box. So you have to know how it looks on the outside when it's ready. It's a smell. It's just so much stuff that goes into it.
What's like the temperature? What's like the cigars have a particular fermentation process. What's the fermentation process for meat?
Under 32 degrees, the enzymes won't break down the protein because it's freezing temperatures. So what I found ideal was 35 degrees and a relative humidity between 65 to 70%.
Wow. Okay, so similar to cigars, but
a lot colder.
A lot colder.
Because you want to dehydrate it.
Yeah,
that's the whole process, dehydrating in the enzymes.
But you don't want to stop it from aging. Like you put a meat, you vacuum seal it, you put it in a freezer, it stops the aging process. You can vacuum sealed. You can open it up 2 years later, and
it's not bad.
So as you age a piece of meat longer, why does it become more expensive? Why does it taste better? Like, what's that?
I mean, you don't want to go too long because then you start getting a funky taste that people aren't used to.
Okay.
And
like, how long is too long?
Smelling, like anything over 50 days starts getting.
Oh, really? Okay.
Very,
now,
very
is it like, for lack of a better term, is it poisonous at that time, or is it just going to taste?
No,
weird?
It's going to taste weird. You do have to clean everything off.
Yeah. Because
So-
it probably has bacteria on it.
Yeah, there's a mold that grows in the outside that actually helps with breaking down the protein, so that you don't clean that off until you're ready to ready for cutting into your subprimal cuts.
Is there a minimum amount of time you have to age it?
Well, you do want to start getting that mold on the outside, that bacteria, because you got to remember, if you take it out early, the product is not fully dehydrated how you want it.
Yeah.
So you'll still have moisture. You won't get that nuttiness from the oxidized fat. You won't get the texture that you need to get from the fully dry aged product. So a lot of people do say, like I said, everybody says 28 days, but it's not 28 days. That's like a perfect environment.
That's like, yeah, that's okay, but it could be a little bit
It could
less.
be 32. It could
yeah.
be 35. It could be 34. It all varies.
It could be 26, right?
It all depends.
Yeah.
So, but there's a specific smell. There's a look. There's a texture that you can tell. Hey, you know what? This is ready.
So if you put, let's say you get these shipment of meat, right, and you put whatever you're trying to age it, right, and you set it up for the aging, you put it in there, and then you probably have these other meats that, okay, these meats have been a week, these have been 3, these have been 4, right? You'll go into every time you'll check like the ones that are probably the 1 week and the 2 week are still too young, but you'll check like the 3 weeks and you'll take a look at them and you'll smell, you'll be like, that one needs to come out, that one can stay a little bit, and you just know.
Well, you have to, yeah, because if you, like I said, we don't like to leave it too long because like people aren't used to that flavor, that taste, that smell. So you don't want to leave it too long, otherwise it does smell like that over dry aged smell.
So how long did it take you to develop that? I guess palate
awareness.
It's
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up with my uncles. I grew up in the industry, so I literally learned.
So you could
learned
just
the whole
take, like,
thing.
I gave you a piece of meat, and I'm like, and you could be like, could you tell me how long it's been aged for? By
Not
just looking at
exactly,
it?
but you can tell if like I said, the surface area, if there is a lot of moisture, that you know that it's not ready.
But you can tell, like, just by looking and smelling that it's ready.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like
wild.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
wild.
yeah.
you weren't there, but we did the cigars for the game dinner up in the Rochelle,
Yeah, the game night.
and Chef Admir was there, so he had the dinner and everything, and then I happened to see him a couple days later for my wife's birthday, so he was like, "What'd you think of the meat?" And I was like, "Oh, I think what the best part was. What was the best?
It was
one?
a bison.
The bison, yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Oh,
the
dude, I love
bison was
bison.
good.
dude.
the bison was really good.
I
Then
love
Then he was
bison.
categorizing. All right, this one wasn't that good because of this. I was like, damn, I would never even know that. Like the only thing I knew was one of them was like overcooked, and I could tell it. But like everything else, he was like, no, this was that. And he's like, but the bison was spot on. I was like, yeah, the bison was my favorite one.
What's in your opinion the best cut of meat?
Yeah, good question.
Flavor wise, I would go with the ribeye.
Mm.
The ribeye, 100%. But if you do like a little bit of the filet mignon and the sirloin side, you'd go with the porterhouse. But the ribeye, you can't beat a ribeye.
Yeah,
Like I'm not crazy about tomahawks. I feel it's more just show and
it's
Yeah.
a show.
yeah.
I wasn't. I got
ribeye.
that. I did that on Mini Moon in New Jersey after we got married, and we ordered this tomahawk for 2, and it was like a cool, elaborate, like
Yeah,
appearance, and we ate it, and we're like, all right, it was all right. Like, it was good, but it was all right.
I'd rather just have the ribeye.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I love with ribeye, and it's like, I feel like with steak, it's sometimes people try to do too much with it, and I'm like, just salt and pepper, just cook it. If you cook it right, if it's aged right, and I always ask them, like, when they bring it, I say, can I just get? I love doing this. Can I just get some of that coarse salt? Like sometimes they give you like the black Himalayan salt, and they go just a little. I'm like, yeah, just a little dish of it, and I bring it out. I take my meat and I just like a little dip in the salt, and that's it. I was like, I don't need any other seasoning. I don't need Cajun. I don't need the foie gras butter, and I get their enhancements. I'm like, but when I'm getting a steak, just give me the steak and a little bit of salt, and it's like, and the juices and this. I'm like, oh,
Why is
man,
why is A1 steak sauce a no?
I mean, just the taste in general is just horrible. in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it is.
No, my
No,
rule of
it's-
thumb is for steak sauce. This is what I've lived by this. Unless the chef serves the steak with a sauce, you don't ask for steak sauce.
Huh.
If he puts the steak down, and they give you hey, this is our house-made steak sauce, then I will try it.
Yeah, give it a try. I mean,
But if he doesn't serve it with sauce, then I won't ask for, hey, do you have steak sauce? Because if you serve it with the sauce, that means you want me to.
yeah, to try it.
Yeah.
The only thing with the dry stuff, I really don't use the steak sauce. I do like if I'll have a fillet, I'll use the steak sauce because that's not dry aged. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a tender cut.
When I was there last, I had you had the special. It was it with the cherry peppers?
Oh
or-
yeah, that was with the cherry.
It was
peppers,
the
yeah.
it was a filet
Cherry
mignon.
peppers, dude?
Yeah.
It was a filet mignon, right? Filet
The filet
mignon
mignon, yeah.
with blue cheese, melted blue cheese
Filet
crumbles,
mignon.
and cherry peppers. Brr, I love cherry peppers. So
Yeah.
once I saw cherry peppers, I was like, yeah, give me that. And then that thing was
I started.
phenomenal.
Yeah, I started that off with just like telling people here and there, but then when I saw that people were liking it, I was like, all right, put it on the special, and
Dude, cherry,
people just keep ordering.
I love
You said you said it was like a really popular item that people kept ordering.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, leave it on.
Is there out of your restaurant that you see, what's the number one steak that everyone always
Oh,
orders?
the porterhouse for $2.
Porterhouse
That's
for $2?
like the number one seller.
Yeah.
That-
I think it was the first. That was what we got the first time we went.
You probably it's probably your biggest ROI too, because you can just upcharge the shit out of it because you're
to an extent.
doing it.
So when it comes to, like I said, you're not charging $200 for a steak for $2. You can't do that.
Well,
So-
if I hang it up and drip some butter down it, I can.
You're paying for the experience.
But yeah.
For that, yeah.
I come out with white gloves and I smack you in the face with it a couple times. It's the whole
Come out
experience.
with sparklers.
Yeah,
and-
I drop the salt on it like Salt Bay.
Cut it in front of it. No.
Shave a
Like-
couple pieces of gold on there. There you go. $250 steak.
Gold. That's just another gimmick.
Is
It
it?
is. You know what? I actually had a piece of sushi the other day. I didn't order it because it was on. I had no idea it was on there. We went to a sushi joint to get sushi for like a late lunch, and I got one of the rolls, and they had little like gold shaving. I'm like, I went to the waitress. I'm like, is that gold? She goes, yeah. I was like, is it real? She goes, yeah, no, yeah, it's real edible gold. I'm like,
Well, what's a real edible gold?
she's like, no, it's like gold shavings. Like it's 24 karat. Like, I go, why? She's like, that's the special roll. I'm like, okay, maybe that's why it was $65, whatever the hell.
You know
it
what's
was.
crazy? Those 24 karat gold sheets are not even that expensive.
I know, but
It's-
they make the roll
they-
expensive.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, you pay to say I had 24 karat gold on my steak.
Just imagine wrapping a ribeye with gold coming out of the oven, sitting down. You're not getting a hot steak on the table.
I forgot what restaurant I went to in Miami. My wife and I went there years ago. I forgot what it was. It's a popular restaurant down there. I think they have a few on the
Prime 112?
No, they came out. We ordered a steak, but it came out on a freaking lawnmower
In Miami,
In Miami,
was it STK?
No, it's like you order the steak and it comes out legit on a lawnmower. Like they bring out this
I've
huge,
never seen that.
this huge, this huge.
You show. I'll find it. You
Yeah.
showed it to me. Yeah.
It's like so it's like a steak for $2, but it's like comes with all these sides and I forgot what they called it, but they have like a speaker and the lawnmower comes out and they just put it in the center of the table and you pick it. But a freaking lawnmower is on the table and I was like, this
Oh,
thing
it's
is from
Barton G.
Barton G. Yeah, how did you find that so fast?
I just typed in lawnmower steak restaurant.
Barton
It says
G,
Barton G is
Yes.
a restaurant known for its over-the-top presentations in Miami and West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Instagram-worthy dishes.
Yes, that's what it was. It was like I was like, this is bizarre. I mean, again, it was more the presentation
Yeah,
because the
of
steak was
course.
all right, but I was like, this is like way over the top. Like I didn't want this. I just want a steak now.
Was it hot at least?
It was hot.
But see, that's my point. Is that sometimes I feel like people do too much. When it's like, I just want a steak.
Give me a steak,
man.
yeah.
I don't want all the overtop. If I'm coming for, I just want a nice cut, cooked well. Give me a little bit of salt on the side.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Nice baked potato. Like,
Oh yeah.
And
That's
the
it.
quality makes a difference too. You
Yeah.
need prime.
And you
Prime
guys
is-
give good pleniful sides, like the sizable sides.
They're
yeah,
shareable.
the sides
Oh,
cure
yeah,
cancer.
yeah.
So you know,
They do
the
cure
sides
cancer.
cure-
Yes.
sides cure cancer.
But like
Wall
I've been to
Street.
I've been to those steakhouses like where the sides are like a little bit, but you guys definitely give a plentiful. I'm like, this
Yeah,
is
no,
better.
they're shareable. So you can.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
not-
awesome.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not individual.
It's really good. So you've been my wife when she first saw you said she recognized you, and I said, well, he's been on the Food Network because all she watches is the Food Network, and she's like, has he been on beating Bobby Flay? And I showed him Instagram. I'm like, yes, he has.
Sous Chef Bobby Flay.
Yes. So
I mean, it was not only the keys, but Sous Chef Bobby Flay. It was the whole.
this
deal,
guy
you know.
just has quotes for
Are bonita fish big? come on. You don't know that,
Is
Ryan?
that forgetting Sarah Marshall?
No, it's Step Brothers.
Oh.
But he's like, I heard you were fishing down the Keys with.
Oh, yeah.
With Bobby Flay.
this
Well,
guy's-
not only
What's this guy's deal?
Mark Cuban, but we had Sous Chef Bobby Flay. I mean, it was too much. It was almost too much.
But well, now I lost.
You know
my
what's
score.
crazy? I never watch myself.
Oh, that's right. So yeah. So
It's actually fun because I don't listen to our show.
yeah, I don't watch anything I've
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
so how was that? So how did they find you, and what was that experience like? Being on Beating Bobby Flay.
They reached out to me. They sent me an email if I wanted to participate, and because I also do the Food Network event every year in by the pier. So I've been doing the Burger Bash. I do like I did the steak and whiskey last year. So every year I've been doing it for the past 12 years. So they reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to be Bobby Flay. I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So I fill out the paperwork and everything. Get there at 6 o'clock in the morning. Damn. Yeah, and started filming. We didn't finish till like about 6 p.m.
So that's 12 hours.
Yeah.
And why was it so long?
The whole production, the retakes, and then they interview you, and then so
There's retakes, so it's not like one shot, one kill. What's the deal?
No.
So like, tell us.
Because like on TV, that's what it looks like. It looks like you go on and you just like whip it, and it's like it's either good or it's bad.
No, they got to make it look good for TV. I mean,
Yeah.
you go there without just saying what you're saying. It's going to be quick, but it's you have to, like I said, you have to do the retakes. Things need to look a certain way. You got to look at you dish at the final a certain way. So they have you on
So
cues.
crazy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're kind of like acting a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Because you got to pretend like this isn't like your 8th time doing it.
No.
Now beating Bobby Flay for the listeners, explain like what the concept is that you had to do. Like you're a participant on the show, and they give you something.
Yeah, so they
an
give you
ingredient
it's a secret ingredient, and then the first round it's 2 chefs that compete with the secret ingredient. Whoever wins goes in versus Bobby. So the ingredient I got was quail eggs.
Now, do you both chefs get the same ingredient?
Same ingredient, yeah.
Okay.
So I got quail eggs, and trying to open up a quail egg with a knife, it takes time, especially when you have big hands. Forget about it.
Yeah, because otherwise you just smash
You have 20
the whole,
minutes.
You have to smash the whole thing.
Yeah, forget it. And then you got shells all over. It's horrible. But like I said, trying to open it with a paring knife is it's crazy with 20 minutes.
Now, what do they give you? They just give you a secret ingredient and say you have to make a dish with it, or do they tell you what type of dish?
Nope, you make whatever you want. What comes
You can make
to
whatever you want.
Whatever you
The
want,
first
yeah.
round is 2 chefs versus each other.
Right. Yeah. that's
Bobby
what I'm
Flay
saying.
says you guys got to cook with what?
I think that stopped recording.
What the hell?
Yep. There you go.
So yeah, the first 2 chefs. I don't know what's up with these cameras. Might have to buy new cameras.
A good thing I just saw it click off. So good.
Oh, it just clicked
I
off.
just saw it.
All
Yeah.
right, good. So the first is 2 chefs, and Bobby Flay gives them instructions. All right, you guys got to cook with this, and whoever wins out of those, then they beat Bobby Flay. Then Bobby Flay, then the winner says, Bobby Flay, I'm going to cook blah blah blah, and he has to cook it too.
Oh, so then
Yeah.
so then whoever wins,
It's their preference
you
now.
pick like whatever your best dish is.
Yeah,
And then Bobby Flay has to do the same dish.
Yeah.
And then you both put them up against the judges.
yeah,
And then if you beat them, you
Yeah.
win.
yeah.
So you had quail eggs.
Quail eggs. When I saw
Now, are
those,
you
I was like,
timed? Are you
kidding?
timed?
Yeah, you got 20 minutes.
So you have 20 minutes, but you said it's also like retakes. That's not
Not the cooking part.
Not the cooking
No,
part.
no, no, not
Okay.
the cooking part.
So you
Cooking
have
part,
20
you legit
minutes.
have 20 minutes.
How the fuck, dude? I don't
Oh,
even
okay.
Dude, I can't even make my breakfast shake in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to think what you're going to do with this. That takes a few minutes at a time.
Mhm.
So what
And then-
what did you make?
It was I did a toad in a hole.
What is that?
I did like in a sense of like a French toast with a hole in the middle with the quail egg and with
what was it called? Toad in the hole?
toad in a hole with pancetta and tomatoes.
So French
Sauteed
toast
tomatoes.
with like a hole in the middle, and you crack the
egg,
egg
yeah,
in
yeah.
the middle,
Yeah,
you
and
cook the
then
egg in
put
it,
like
yeah.
pancetta. What was the sauce you put on top?
There was no sauce.
No sauce, just
No,
just
just like
okay.
that.
Dude, that's
So-
kind of interesting.
And what the other person make?
It was a salad with a fried quail egg.
Oh, I feel like that's a cop out. You made a salad?
I was trying to go all out. I was
Yeah,
trying,
for
I was
real.
Try to
You made
I
a
mean, that's
salad?
you
Yeah.
got the French toast. You cut the hole. You cook the egg in the hole, and you flip it on both sides. And you put a little salad.
yeah,
Come on.
it was a salad with 1 fried quail egg.
Did you win or did he win?
No, he won.
How?
That's what I'm saying.
It's a fucking salad. You didn't make anything.
That's not hard.
You prepped the salad. You fried an egg. You put it in there.
Shit is scripted, bro.
Come on,
it's scripted.
man.
It's scripted.
They were just scared of him when he came out with the
Well,
fucking
because
butcher knife.
well,
in
they
there,
said,
you know?
"Oh my God, he's huge."
They were like, we can't let this guy win.
I forgot what chef. They're like, "Yeah,
Slip him
he'll
100,
crush
yo.
you."
Yeah. It was. I think it was Anne Burrell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
so-
like, "He's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
crush you." Because
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
that they were worried. They're like, okay, now if he loses the body, he's got
because he walks in
got the
giant
butcher knife,
man
oh,
with a
okay,
freaking butcher
yo.
knife. Let's go.
might have a lawsuit on our hands here. Right?
I
This
should
might
have brought
turn
a
into
smaller knife then.
Yeah.
this might turn into a horror film instead of a cooking show.
And
okay?
was that the only time you were on TV?
No, I've done probably over 100 morning shows. They're live.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I've done that. I've done. I was on Fox and Friends. I've done a bunch of different other shows.
Oh,
so-
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do
Quail
you like
eggs,
being on TV?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like more of the live stuff because I just flow.
yeah.
So you're natural, especially when you know what you're talking about and you know the product, you know what you're cooking, you know what you're doing. It just comes out so much more natural.
Now, when
Wow.
you okay, tell me about like your thought process where they say now I don't know how they present it, but I guess they have like a what do they call it, like a dish with the cover on top, and they're like, all right, bang, quail eggs, right? What's your thought process? Like, have you ever cooked that before, or?
I mean, I've not to the extent to making a dish with it, But when he took out quail, I was like, what? Quail
Yeah,
eggs?
so like what goes through your brain to end up with the
The first thing was like, how do I crack these things in a matter of 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Because I used, like I said, to making the French toast, I used the actual quail eggs.
Yeah.
So trying to crack as many of those to make a dish was just crazy.
So not only did you put the quail egg in the center, like a little, what was it, scrambled or fried? Or
No, it was just put in the
you just
middle.
cracked it
Yeah.
in the middle, but you also soaked the bread in the quail eggs as well. So like go through. So you see these quail eggs, and the first thing you think, you're like, how the fuck am I gonna crack these damn things?
Yeah.
And then how did you end up on? Because out of all the things you can make, right? Like the guy made a salad, you
Right.
made a French toast type of deal. How did you land on French toast?
It just came to my head when I saw eggs, and I was like, take some cinnamon, some heavy cream, and let's make French toast. But let's try to. It was more trying to impress, and that's where I think I overdid it. And I was trying to do too much in one
Listen,
20
I
minutes.
think I would have.
Come on, I think anyone can beat a salad. Salad is greens with.
That's why I don't trust some of those judges, man. Come on.
Yeah, well, you watch some of the shows and it's like, really, that's how it turned out.
Well,
So-
it's funny to say because every once in a while we'll watch because we watch some daytime television, whatever. I work from home and my wife doesn't work, so we're like, doesn't work. And so we'll watch some shit, and then I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and there'll be like 3 chefs, and it's like this person made this great dish, this person made this great dish, and the person like what that was, I could make that, right? And you're sitting like they're definitely going home, and then they go, and the first person that's staying is the like shitty dish. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? That was, come on, the other two are clearly better. And then it's like the best one. You thought that was the best one. Like, you're going home first.
Yeah, there's not really like all TV, all reality, quote unquote TV now is just, it's all scripted at some point. It's not all.
No, I mean, like,
blanketed.
when it comes to the cooking, like I said, you really have no clue
Yeah.
what you're getting. But I mean, if I were to do it now again, I think with the experience and, now being able to, like I said, with the new restaurant, creating the menu that I wanted to create and experimenting with other ingredients, I think I would do a lot better, way better job now.
Yeah.
It was just that was like my first time on like a scripted
Sure.
show.
Were you nervous at all?
The cooking part, yes, because I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do.
It's the time.
That's what it is.
If
And
you had
the
like an
time
hour,
crunch.
it'd be like, okay.
Yeah, it's different. Or if you had, let's say, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to like figure out what you're going to make, that's different. But you get the dish, now you got to, first of all, you're in a stranger's kitchen. You don't even know where half the
That
ingredients
probably,
are.
yeah, that's a
That's
good
another
point.
thing,
That
too.
probably makes it even more stressful
Now
because you don't know where shit is.
Yeah, you're running around looking for where stuff is, and at the same time, you're trying to figure out what am I doing. So,
Yeah. Is there any other like besides steak? What other foods do you love or enjoy, like, or are you passionate about?
I like to cook anything.
Yeah.
I love cooking Mexican.
I love Mexican food too.
I like making pad thai. I mean, I can make anything. I mean, once
What's like one of your favorite dishes to make? Like maybe it's not like the most extravagant dish, but maybe it's the one that like maybe it means something to you because of like family or the past, or if it's just you enjoy it so much making it. Or
to be honest, one of my favorites, and because it was my favorite as a kid, is just a basic beef stew with string beans.
beef stew with string
That's
beans.
one of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah, and then
Is that on the menu? And,
no,
that's on. Is that on the was that off menu?
no.
Is
That's
that like a
something-
cultural?
that's
Is that a
something-
cultural thing?
Yeah, it is. And then
'Cause
like
what's your name? Albanian?
Albanian, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So is that
my
Albanian?
mom would make it with like cornbread, but it's not cornbread what you're thinking of, like a sweet cornbread. It's a savory.
Do you mix the cornbread into the stew?
No.
Oh,
So you
okay.
just
You dip it.
Yeah, you dip it pretty much.
The reason I asked is because my wife's from Texas, and when they make chili, they make cornbread, but you put the cornbread into the chili.
Yeah, no.
Like you crumble it up in the chili.
This
as
would
part of the.
this would be more like a side thing. So it'd be like a stew with for me. It would be a stew with the cornbread, some feta cheese, and tomatoes. That's like my go-to meal.
That sounds nice.
Dude,
That's like a nice
I
winter
love
party meal.
I love talking about food, man, because I can put down some food.
But
I
what
love
the
it.
thing is,
I
when you
love it.
know the foundations of cooking, you can pretty much make anything. So, like I said, that's why I like to cook many different dishes. Like I love making salsas. So, like anything from salsa verde to like a roasted mango salsa. Like once you know the foundations and the ingredients that need to go in a dish, you
Yeah.
can. It's endless.
Wow. What's your favorite Italian dish to cook?
You got me on that one.
I don't like Italian.
No. I would say pasta.
Yeah.
Probably like a short rib ragu.
Oh,
Like a short rib ragu.
Oh,
damn.
dude, that's
Yeah.
okay. That's like one of my favorite.
that sounds.
So we
fire.
serve it at the restaurant, and it's the short ribs cooked down for a while. So
I love
I
it.
think shreds down, and the
Love
tomato sauce is cooked down for 4. So everything that's made at the restaurant, it's not just out of a can. It's actually made. It's cooked down. You want the flavors to develop. You want the flavors to build. So, and that takes time. That's not just taking a sauce and putting some shredded short rib and cooking it for 20 minutes.
Now, do you have to I'm assuming over time, as you have a restaurant and you're in the business, you have to develop relationships with certain farmers or food distributors? Is it like, what's that process like? Do you like work with farmers? Do you like talk to them directly?
No.
Or, like what's that?
No. It's strictly with the distributors.
Okay.
I mean, when it comes to meat and seafood, you do want to have a good quality source. So, and I'm happy with the guys I'm using right now, and I haven't got anything bad from them yet. Especially when it comes to the seafood. The seafood, I mean, we get seafood daily.
Wow.
And we go through it like crazy. So, I mean, just recently I did a special. It was pan-seared scallops with a caviar beurre blanc. Flies.
Damn.
One of my favorites.
My brothers would love that. My brothers love seafood. I gotta tell them they gotta come up here.
I like that short rib.
Yeah, I
short
gotta
rib's
try
good.
that. I gotta try
Yeah,
that.
you
next
gotta
time.
try that next time.
My
Yeah,
wife
that
makes
sounds
a.
good.
She actually just made it the other night. It's my favorite dish that she makes, and it's probably because she doesn't use short rib. She used it. She had originally done it with short rib, but short rib's expensive, and then she did it with I forgot what she used in between, but now she just uses like a beef chuck, and she'll make the same dish where she cooks it down and she puts it over mashed potatoes, and she makes a reduction, and she makes this whole sauce, and it's so good. But she does it with a beef chuck, but it's like I can't really. The way I think that it's good, it's technically not short rib,
Yeah.
but it's the same.
Yeah, you get the texture.
It's the same recipe, but with a beef chuck, and it's so freaking good. And she made it the other night, and then she made like her homemade oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, and I was like, this might be this is like my electric chair meal right here.
Yeah, that's
Oh, it's so good.
That's one of the things
So
I hate
good.
cooking is I hate baking.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
my
yeah,
next
it's
question
different,
was,
it's different,
do
yeah,
you
yeah.
like desserts?
I'm not crazy. I'm
No
not
sweet tooth?
crazy. No, mostly savory.
So
All right, all
I maybe I missed it, but the beef stew, is that an Albanian dish,
I mean,
or the way that you make it is an Albanian?
we grew up with it, so
Yeah.
it's culturally, but I mean, it is one of the dishes that is made. It's like beef
What's
stew.
like a very famous Albanian dish?
I mean, it's called burek. So it's like a puff pastry with you can roll it with either like feta cheese or spinach or whatever the case is. That's like one of the big ones.
What's it called? Burek?
Burek, yeah. And then another thing they do, they look like small sausages. They're called chivapa. So they're like
Chivapa?
they're like small sausages, and you eat them with feta cheese. And then there's a spread
I feel
called
like feta
Ivad.
cheese is a common
Yeah, it's
denominator
big.
here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
big
yeah,
in there.
yeah.
I love feta cheese, dude.
Yeah.
And then they make the homemade bread. It's unbelievable.
Dude, I'm getting so hungry.
You do. You had to have meet celebrities, famous people doing private events and stuff like that. Who were some of the cool people that you met throughout your
Anthony
journey?
Bourdain was one of them.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he was a
wow.
great guy. We did a charity event together. This was a while back. He was great.
He a good down to earth guy like he's on the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you watch people on TV and like they have a whole different personality. Like
No.
in
He
real
was,
life.
like I said, I still do a lot of stuff with the Giants. I mean, I've done stuff with the Knicks, so I got a chance to, even with the golf outings. John Starks I do every year.
nice.
Speaking about a guy who has one personality on the court and a totally different.
Forget it.
Dude,
When
he's
it
like,
comes to playing,
he's totally different off the.
great guy, great organization, great charity, great, and I've been doing it for a long time with him. And Oakley's a good friend, so he's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charles Oakley's one of my good guys.
I know. When I first told you, I said you got to come on the podcast. You're like, yeah, I'll get Carmelo Anthony to come on. I was like, huh? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're about to message him right now. So
I messaged him to come to the restaurant. He came by, so he's been there a few times now.
that's the one on
In
Scarsdale?
One Rare, yeah, Scarsdale.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Is he live in Westchester or no?
I think so. I think he
Yeah?
lives in Westchester. Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. Is he? I'm assuming another cool down to earth
Oh
guy.
yeah.
He seems like
Oh, yeah.
super laid back. and
Loves
cool.
wine. We have a great time talking about wine.
You a
anything-
wine drinker too?
Oh yeah.
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 Red
I
or
love pairing cigars with wine.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
That's one of my favorites.
Yes, we've talked about that on the show before. It's a
Yeah,
it's a
definitely.
overlooked pairing. Everybody thinks cigars. Number one is coffee and cigars, and I still think coffee and cigars is probably the best pairing there is.
Oh, I love that.
But
Yeah.
everybody also says like whiskey and cigars. But a very overlooked one is wine.
I feel like if you don't have the right whiskey or like Scotch, and it's, let's say it's too peaty or smoky, I think it alters the flavor of the cigar.
Yeah.
I mean, if I have Scotch, my go-to is a Dalmar 15.
Dalmar 15.
That's one of my favorite go-tos with a cigar.
What about bourbon or whiskey?
Bourbon. You can't go wrong with the Weller Special Reserve, the green one.
Damn. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Damn.
I collect bourbons.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have like over 300 bottles in my collection.
Shit.
Nice.
Like some
dude.
rare shit.
What's like some of the rare? You have Pappy in there, I'm
I
assuming?
have Pappy up to. I think it was 21 years. That's what I don't have anything after that. Michter's 25. I have the.
I like Michter's.
I have the
Michter's
100 year anniversary of the Elmer T. Lee's. I have so much.
Do you like Angel's Envy?
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's
It's
like
not
one of
bad.
my favorites
Yeah,
is
it's one of
Angels.
my-
What
yeah.
about Eagle Rare?
Eagle Rare is good.
Yeah.
Do you like Jefferson's?
Oh, Jefferson's Oceans.
Oceans is
it's
great.
unbelievable.
I just
Jefferson's
like
really
the,
good.
I just like the
You know-
origin, how
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
made.
Mhm.
You know, it's,
Yeah.
it's in the bottom of the sea, the
Yep.
barrels and the
And the
sea
ocean rocks
from
it,
the, from the ocean. I mean, the salt from the ocean gets into the barrels with the aging process. That's a cool process.
Yeah, there's a
That's
lot.
cool
There's a
thing.
lot. But they all have different flavors, and then you could all those flavors, just like all the different wine flavors, and there's coffee flavors too. A lot of people just just get ready a cup of coffee. There's a lot of different coffee flavors depending on what region of the world you come from.
Yeah.
Pair them all with cigars. Pair them all. There's a place in. We should actually go sometime. It's in Inglewood, New Jersey, called Sophia's.
Yeah, one of my friends owns it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
have you been there?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, with the cigar
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
and-
downstairs.
oh
yeah.
man,
Yeah, yeah, place is sick.
it's great, right? And I was like, we went there, and I was taking a couple of my buddies because we were doing I think we did an event or something, and I was like, hey, we're gonna go afterwards. We're gonna go to this place, and they're like, I said you can smoke cigars and eat dinner. They go, really? I said, yeah, dude, it's sick. And I said, we go there, but I go, we're cigar guys, so we start off like you have to have the appetizer cigar with the appetizer, and then the appetizer.
What would be
drink,
your
right?
go-to appetizer cigar?
Well, you got to start off mild, right? Because if you're gonna have like 3 cigars, you can't go for the gusto. Otherwise, the next 2 you're not gonna. So I think we started off that round.
We had a Connecticut. We had a
I
mild
think
cigar.
I think I had an Oliva Connecticut
Okay,
to start.
that's right.
The Series
Se-
O,
yeah, Series
yeah,
O, yeah.
I like the cereal.
and then I bumped up to.
I have a picture of it somewhere.
I have a picture. I might have stuck with Oliva. I might have done Oliva Series O Connecticut because they had a short one.
I think we did blueprints.
The blueprint was the end.
Yeah, at the end.
We had 3, so I had Oliva Series O, a short one. I might have had a Melanio in the middle.
I don't remember. I remember having a
Or
blueprint.
because
at
I don't
the
know
end.
if we had the Diligent in the time, but
No, we didn't.
we would go now. I would start with a Diligent
Right.
as an appetizer cigar into maybe the beginning half of the meal. Like I would have like the start with the blueprint, the Diligent, have some of the appetizers, have my salad, and then when the steak came with the wine, I'd switch over to the blueprint, and then it would go into like an after dinner bourbon, and that would be the.
Yeah.
But
That sounds like a great dinner.
it's phenomenal.
you got to think about it because I'd be like, oh, I'm just gonna have this cigar. I was like, whoa, wait a second, dude. You're gonna have fried calamari. You can't have a blueprint with fried calamari,
Yeah,
dude.
no, it's gonna
Just
kill
like
it.
you're having a Pinot Grigio, you can't have a Padron 1964 with a Pinot Grigio.
Do you ever
Like-
do? I know I've asked you before, but do you ever do like cigar dinner? I know you can't do it in the restaurant, but do you ever try to host like cigar dinners elsewhere, or is that something you want to do
No, I mean, like I said, we can't do it. We can't do it there.
in the restaurant? Yeah.
No, I mean, if I had a spot where I would come in as, let's say, as like a guest chef, and if I had place to cook, then I would do it.
Yeah,
But like taking food in a tray and bringing it there is just not the
it's a
same.
lot. How did you get into cigars?
This
Good
had
question.
to be 2014, I think it was, or 2013. The first cigar I ever had was and it was horrible. It was to me, like now when I smoke all this stuff, it was an Ave Maria.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a AJ Fernandez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the first,
And you hated it.
I didn't like it. And then the first box I ever bought was it was Room 101. It was called My Uncle.
Did you hate it?
That was a while ago. You're talking about 2014.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
It was okay.
Yeah?
I mean, I didn't know you didn't know much. And then when I started really getting to it, the second box I bought was the H. Upman, the Banker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
that's a
stuff.
good one.
And then the Banker I stuck with a while until I started just expanding and just trying different things.
The Bankers are cool.
Yeah.
Bankers
Yeah,
are cool.
they're good. Ecuador and Habano wrapper. You can't
And
go wrong
yeah.
with it.
What
What
is
does they
it?
have a pink one too, right?
Yeah, the pink ladder. I was just talking to
No,
somebody.
that's
No.
Southern Draw.
Oh, it's Southern Draw.
No,
yes,
Southern Draw.
you're
No,
right.
the H.
All the
Upman has
Rose of Sharon, Southern Draw.
No, but
I'm
the H.
biased.
Upman has a pink one. They call it like the rosé, but it's just like the Banker, but it's the pink
Yeah.
version.
What is it about
It's
cigars?
not called the Herman's Edition.
Yes, I gotta look it up.
Yeah, I was just talking about that with somebody the other day because they smoke Southern Draw, And I was talking about the pink one, and I forgot the name of it. That's what it was.
Yeah, the Rose of Sharon.
Yeah.
And they did the Rose of Sharon and Desert Rose. Desert
Yeah,
Rose is supposed to be.
It's the banker. They call it Ingot Rosé.
No, I haven't had that one.
Yeah, so I'll
Yeah,
pull
it's
it
like it's not like a real hard pink. It's kind of like a light pink.
It's a rosé, but
Yeah.
how do I? H.
So what is it
then-
about cigars that attract you that you like
yeah, this
the
one
cigars?
right here. So it.
Yeah, that one.
Because
Right
you know how
there.
it comes in
No,
like that brick. So
No,
it's a
I've never
pink.
had
It's
that
a,
one. No, I
a
never had
pink
that one.
pink wrapper, but it's the same. It's the same.
Same blend.
Well, kind of, yeah. But it's a little twist. But they had the banker because banker, you know how it comes in like a gold bar box type of deal.
They changed them. They come in they're like green boxes.
the green boxes
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what is it
But
about
they
cigars that
they,
you like?
But they look like it looks like a gold bar.
Yeah,
if
in a
you
sense,
will.
yeah. You know what it
That's-
is? It's flavor.
Yeah.
Because it's just like wine. It's just like anything else with food. You crave different things. So same thing with cigars. I can crave a certain flavor, and I'll go to, let's say, if I want something that has like a toasted cashew or like a toasted type of nut, I would go with more Nicaraguan tobacco.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
bank-
that's the one, yeah.
That's the banker.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
and they
nice one.
came out with the banker Ingot Rosé for like a bar of. But
No,
anyway,
I've never had that one.
Yeah. Anyway,
So yeah, it's flavor. And then now when you start getting into it, it's now chasing a dragon. It's which one's better than what?
Yeah,
The last one I had, which
chasing a dragon.
that's
There
pretty
you go.
funny.
the best. I mean, the recent one that I had, I loved was the. It's pricey. It's the Plasencia Amo de Fuego.
Yeah,
But the one that they did with
that's what you tell me. I didn't
Yeah.
hear that.
The Alma
one.
de Fuego. That's the red label.
But they
one.
did a special one where it's in like a glass tube.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
$100 a stick.
I
or
didn't.
something
I
like
didn't
that.
hear about that one. You was
No,
telling
I
me
Yeah,
didn't hear
about it.
about that one.
So I had that one, loved it.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean,
They're good. They're a good brand. They're
No.
a very good brand. Plasencia.
But like I said, for $100 stick, I don't think I would
That's
buy
the
it.
that's
yeah.
the top. Yeah,
No.
because everybody always asks about some of these big ticket cigars. Like for instance, there's a Davidoff Royal Release, which is now in New York. I don't know, 175,
Mhm.
$200 a stick, and or they'll ask like the Cohiba Bahiques, right? And those go for $100 a stick plus. And you get some of these sticks that are pretty pricey, and people ask like, is it good? I'm like, listen, I'll be honest with you. Yes, it's a good stick, right? The Royal Release, I enjoyed it. It was long, the Solomon, I think it was.
Yep.
It was a good stick. I'm not going to say that it wasn't, but for $175, I can get like 10 other good sticks that I'll enjoy versus one good stick. Is it a bad? No, it's not a bad stick. It was a great stick, but I'm not going to spend $175 on one cigar. I can get maybe, how about 5 $20 cigars?
Yeah.
$25 cigars.
In New-
$30
in New York,
cigars, you know?
at
I mean, I feel that there's a certain level of refinement when it comes to the price point. I mean, at $100, it's
yeah, how
nothing
much more
crazy.
you get? How much more you getting?
That's what it is. I mean, like I said, for $20, you can get amazing sticks. I mean,
Yeah.
besides if you go to New York, I mean, yeah, Davidoff's now what, $45, $50?
No, it's crazy.
Yeah, Padrones are up there
crazy.
too. Padrones.
Well, they're
Yeah.
actually trying to. There's a proposed thing in New York right now where they're trying to drop actually the tobacco tax. Which
What
I
is it, 75% I think, right?
Right now it's 75%.
75, and that's
Yeah.
wholesale price.
But
Yeah.
I wanna pull up what it was for New York, but
This is a good stick, by the way.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
This is a
this thing
very,
is
very
crazy.
good stick.
this thing is a crazy draw.
I love the retro hell on this. I'll
This is
probably
a good-
every other pull, I'll retro hell.
That was
I'm not going to
thank you.
retro hell right now because of my allergies.
That
and
was my
it'll
next question.
fuck
Do you
me
rec-
up, but
Oh, yeah.
Do you retro hell a lot? Yeah, it's I haven't retro.
That's where I
hell.
get most of the flavor from.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. They say you got a lot of basic flavors from your mouth,
Yeah.
and if you really want to enhance your palate,
yes.
you gotta retro.
But
hell. You gotta
listen, I'm
like
going to
crazy.
say it right now: retrohelling is not for the faint of heart. Okay, first time you do it, you will cough,
Yeah,
and
shit
it
is hard.
will give you teary eyes. You might sneeze. Like it's,
I would try it first with a milder cigar.
yeah, you got to get used to it. Okay, you got to get used to it. But it does because you get it you get more of. You open up some of the back of the throat and into the nasal cavity, and you can get some of the smells,
Yep.
some of the after smells. You get some of the flavors. I always tell people too that after they, just like sipping wine, people always ask, "How do you smoke a cigar?" And I'm like, "You think first off, it's like you're drinking water through a straw. Okay, you suck the water into your mouth, you swallow the water. Do it with a cigar, but you don't swallow. Suck the smoke into your mouth and blow it out." I said, but I had a buddy that was he's a wine sommelier. Excuse me. And I was teaching him about cigars, and he goes, "How do you taste cigars?" I'm like, "Do the same thing that you do with wine. Wine, they have like the 5 S's, right? They have this the smells, sight, smell, sip, swirl, swallow, or spit if you don't want to swallow it.
Pause.
Yeah, right.
Pause.
Pause. So I told him, I was like,
Swirl.
I said, do the same thing, right? So you look at the cigar, right? So the sight would be like, look at the legs and everything. The smell, I said, smell the cigar. I said, then I say sip, right? I said, pull the smoke in your mouth. And in wine, you swirl it, right? I said, do it with the cigar. Pull the smoke in your mouth and let it sit a little bit, right? And then when you blow it out, I said, what do you do with wine? He goes, I lick my lips. I said, do the same thing with cigars. And I gave him a cigar, and I said, what do you taste? He goes, I'm getting like a little like pepper, like maybe some black pepper, or I'm getting leather, I'm getting this. I go, yeah. That's
there you go.
that's exactly how you taste the cigars. Do the same thing. And what we learned from a guest that we had is that, and you could probably attest to this in the food industry, food science, different parts of your mouth pick up different flavors, and different parts of your lips will pick up different flavors. So if you pull the smoke into your mouth and you hold it on one side of your mouth versus holding on the other, or if you blow it out of one side of your mouth versus blowing it out on the other, you'll get different flavors. And he said that some people will, one side of the mouth will tend to pick up more of like the savory, and the other side will pick up more of the sweet, or this side will pick up a lot of pepper, and this side will pick up oak or something. Yeah, and I was like, we didn't know that. We tried it. I said, holy shit.
Yeah, because the tongue has, you taste salt, you taste, you get the umami, you get the, sweet. So there's different parts of the tongue where you get your palate picks up on those items.
So if you keep, like, say with food, like if you put on, or the wine, you put on different parts of your tongue and different parts of your mouth, you get different flavors. And we tried it on the show. I'm like, wow, that's wild.
But that's why a dish has to be balanced, because if you overdo it with one ingredient, it just throws you off.
Yeah.
Same thing like
with
a cigar.
Yeah, same thing with a cigar.
Most definitely. Yeah.
If you put too much like Lajero leaf in there, or too much double, it's too much of a pepper bomb.
It's support a 50-cent tax per cigar for New York.
That'd be huge.
That's a game changer.
That would be giant. I signed up for it. So Governor what's her name? Holtz or whatever. Got a basic email back like, I'm gonna try everything I can to make New Yorkers happy. Blah, blah. So my question for you: when someone orders a steak and they want it well done, what goes through your mind?
I mean, you can't say much. That's what they want. It's
No, it's like your internal thoughts.
In your honest opinion, how should you cook a steak?
No more than medium.
No more than medium.
Yeah, I like medium.
Under medium, anything under medium is fine.
I like medium too.
No more than medium.
No, I mean, especially when you're paying for such a cut, and it's the time that went into perfecting it, and the quality's there. You don't need, in my opinion, nothing more than medium.
So why do you think people will choose to have their steak well done?
They just don't want to see any red. They don't want to see any pink. They don't want to see any color. They just want to cook through.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that essentially ruins everything about the steak, right?
You get a filet mignon well done. That thing is like leather.
It's
like tough.
Why are you eating that?
Why? That's such a tender cut.
I've always heard of, so you have rare, medium, medium well. But I've always heard of there's
the pluses.
The pluses. Is that really a thing?
To an extent.
What is
I mean,
it?
the only way you can actually
like you said,
that,
like medium, like if somebody ordered a medium well plus, that means cook it to medium well, but you leave it on like a little bit longer.
Okay.
But is that really a thing? Does that make a difference?
The only way you're going to get it 100% right is if you have a thermometer stuck inside the cut.
So does that even make
the only other way is that, I mean, you're not cutting through the steak when you're cooking it. It's whole.
Yeah. So you can't. Yeah.
You can see like there's different levels of on the steaks where the temperature starts to change. So other than that, I mean, it's maybe just a little less juice that's coming out for the way they want it. But I tell the guys not to recommend the pluses. Just stick to the basic temperatures.
Because I feel like if somebody orders, because I always like, if somebody orders a medium well plus, they're like, oh, okay, and they write down medium well. Or like you're not gonna, or like if somebody says, can I get a medium rare plus?
I've never heard of that before.
Like medium rare. Send it back.
Have you ever been to Sparks Steakhouse?
No.
I've never been there. I just want to go there just for one reason only.
What is it?
Sparks Steakhouse in Manhattan.
Why? Because of shooting?
Yeah, because Paul Castellano got murdered by John Gotti down there.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. I mean, that's probably like historical spot. I remember walking by there once. I was just like randomly walking through the city. I'm like, oh shit, Sparks Steakhouse. Like, there's some history right here.
Yeah, it's 2 blocks from where the restaurant was in Midtown.
Oh, Ben and Jack's?
Yeah, it's 2 blocks away. It's on 46th. This is on 44th.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've never heard of if it's good or not. I'm sure it is because it's been around forever.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time.
But, yeah.
It's like a staple.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with that happening, it added some boosts. It's an ego to it. But, yeah, I want to get your opinion if you've ever been there.
No, I've never been. No.
Damn.
No, I mean, if we go out, I really don't go to steakhouses.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because you eat it every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any like a wild story, like a interaction with a customer,
Wild
or someone,
restaurant story.
Someone was like, "This is fucking shit," or
The restaurant horror stories.
because we talked to Mike from Pulpatina.
Oh yeah, of
And
course. Yeah.
So we had him on, and he told us a couple of stories. Like one guy was actually like in his face, like, and he's like, "Is this guy about to like fight me right now? Like, what the fuck is going on?"
I mean, we have a bunch of big waiters at the restaurant, so
yeah, and your guys are pretty intimidating.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
it's like
pretty
that.
big dudes.
It's like, can I see the chef? And the chef comes out with the butcher knife.
Yeah.
Like this.
Let's go. Let's
You
go.
know the crazy thing is I'm always calm, so I don't let things get to me, and I'll handle it a certain way.
Yeah,
I mean, there's times that you have to handle a situation, but you don't need to let it get over.
yeah,
I mean, there were stories in the city that happened I really can't say, but
yeah.
it was just so crazy.
Well, you can
stuff.
tell us off camera.
Is there one? Is there one you can tell us, like a mild story?
No.
Let me ask you this.
There ain't mild
All right,
shit.
has this ever happened? Because I find this hilarious. It's like somebody they order something, you send it out, right? They eat the whole thing,
Oh,
and then they come back and say, "I don't like it.
yeah.
Take it off the menu." Oh, really? Can you take it out of your stomach then and put it back on the plate?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You clearly liked it enough to finish the whole freaking plate.
Yeah.
That's the best. And then what are you gonna do? You're like,
That's it. When it comes down to the restaurant business, you can't really do much.
what are you gonna do? Like,
you just got to take it off the you just got to eat that.
I mean,
No pun intended.
Depends.
Yeah, it depends.
Are they like a regular and they're gonna come back and spend money in your restaurant all the time? Yeah, take it off. Is it
Yeah.
a one-off? No, I'm not taking it off.
Yeah.
I'm not coming back here, really, because I've never seen you before. So don't come back. I don't care. It's not like I got guys that are coming here every Friday dropping $1,000, and you're here once in a blue moon. Okay.
You know,
Go ahead.
the thing I say is that, to be honest with you, the most important person in the restaurant is that person by themselves. So that's where it doesn't matter if it's the one person or if it's a group of 10 people, you still got to treat them the same way.
Yeah, sure.
You have to. Because, sometimes you'll get people in that's just, table for one. It's like overlooked. But I tell the
Yeah.
guys, same
And then
thing.
that-
From one to like a large group, same thing.
But and that's perfect because you might get guys, and it also depends on like where you're located too. But you might get guys that are traveling that are for business,
Yeah.
and they come in every month. Like they'll be traveling to that town every month or multiple times a year, and they come into your restaurant and they just sit by themselves. And if you overlook them, the next time they travel, they might not come in there. But if they come in every month and he's going to drop, maybe the guy sits down, gets a bottle of wine, and gets a nice steak. Next thing you know, he sits by himself. He has a $300 dinner,
Yeah.
and he's going to do that every single month. You got a guy who's coming in, an easy table, so one top. He's going to come in. You treat him just like everybody else, and he's going to come and spend $300 every single month. And he's going to spend $3,600 on the year from one guy. And some people are like, they overlook him because he's just the same. But it's like the easiest table ever. He probably comes and gets the same shit all the time.
Yeah.
We treat him just like you would treat any other table that's a 10 top. Like if you have a 10 top that comes in maybe once a year and they spend $3,000, or you get this one guy who spends 300 10 times a year, same $3,000, right?
But you also have word of mouth. That person will go and tell people.
Yeah.
So it's, it spreads.
It's
That person's going to say the same. He's going to go back.
Yeah.
Every time I go into town, and then next time he comes into town, he brings one of his associates. He's like, you got to go to this restaurant. I come here every time, dude.
So speaking of that, I have another funny correlation story. Which I told you about. I was bringing on a new client, and he's a contractor in the city, but he's in New Jersey, and he's Albanian. So he's talking, and he's always traveling and doing all this crazy stuff. And we're talking about cigars and steaks. He's like, "Oh, I'm actually going to this. I'm going up by you," because he's in Jersey. He's like, "I'm going up by you tonight or tomorrow." I said, "Oh, where are you going?" He goes, "I'm going to the steakhouse in Westchester." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And my first thought was, I was like, "Oh, you going to One Rare?" He's like, "Yeah, that's exactly where I'm going." I'm like, "Oh," I said, "He's a buddy of mine, Chef Admir," and he's like, "Oh, really?" And it was just bizarre because it was like my second time meeting with this guy. He wasn't even a client yet, and we were just bullshitting. And so I think. Appreciate it. Kind of give me a little bit boost to get in the account because he was like, "Oh, Chef Admir?" I'm like, "Yeah, look, just me and him with a picture, and we're like talking about it." And it was just another weird coincidence.
Now you can pull up. He's on my podcast.
Well,
Here's the YouTube.
I'm seeing him next week, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna
here's
say, "Hey, look, he's on my podcast now." But he's another.
I can't wait. I'm excited to go, dude. I want to go to.
Oh,
No, you have to.
yeah.
You have to try it out.
So maybe we'll go.
We'll just bring the. How does Ava do in restaurants?
She's fine. But I was just gonna say we're doing the event Tiki Lounge now in May. We can go there. We can we'll go before. But yeah, we'll figure out a time to go.
Yeah, because I was gonna say we'll bring Holden. Holden, we put him at this. He's in the car seat. make sure he's fed before he goes in the car seat, and he'll sleep for 3 hours. So
yeah, and I mean, even if you come a little earlier, it's not.
No,
it's
my
not
daughter
crazy.
now, it's a little more. She's
That's
8
why I
months,
asked, yeah.
8 months. She's not. She's not like crazy, but she's more attentive. You can't just leave her like in the car seat anymore, because my wife like never eats. She's like, baby's always like needing this, needing that. I'm like, all right, I'll hold the baby, put her to sleep, gotta eat. You got a couple kids, so you know the.
Yeah, he's turning 4 in a week.
Wow.
And then we have another on the way.
Oh wow!
You have another on the way.
Yeah.
Congrats!
Oh, congratulations!
Do you know boy or girl?
Boy.
Nice.
Yeah.
2 boys.
Yeah.
2 boys.
So he's, it's crazy. He's been with me in the restaurant since we opened.
Yeah,
because he's with me during the day.
Is he gonna follow in Daddy's footsteps?
I don't know. We'll see.
He's gonna start. Is he running around the house with a butcher knife?
No,
like,
that's it. No.
Daddy!
Maybe a toy one.
The crazy thing is he'll eat something, like he'll try something, like he'll spit it out, and be like, this has no flavor. I'm like,
And
what
he's
the-
4.
Yeah, he's turning 4.
Just like Daddy.
Oh gosh,
That's sick.
he's gonna be like a food
I was
critic.
like, what the?
What does he like to eat?
I mean, he goes through phases. Now it's just basic stuff. It's just chicken fingers and fries.
Yeah.
And he'll come into the restaurant. He'll go in the kitchen and he'll tell the guys.
Chicken fingers and fries.
He'll literally tell.
And then they'll cook it and they'll spit them out. Come on, make that better.
There's no flavor with
No
this.
flavor now. I said chicken fingers and fries. Okay.
At one time, he had a piece and he was like, the chicken's too big. I was like, dude, just eat the damn thing.
You like, sort of look at it, but you can't be mad at him because you're like, I'm kind of proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm kind of proud of you, right?
But that's why-
like, you're still a prick, but I'm still proud of you.
That's why, the crazy thing is, like, even when we go out, everybody looks at me when I'm eating. I'm like, just leave me alone. They're waiting for me to comment or criticize. Like, just
Like, yeah.
leave me alone.
Like,
Just
I
eat
don't
it.
have. Yeah, I'm not a
It's
critic.
It's like,
okay?
oh, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
Like, it's good. It would be better if you shut up. Just leave me alone.
What are some of your favorite restaurants in Westchester, New York City that you like to go
I mean,
to?
like I said, I love Paul Patino.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if I want to
Yeah,
get,
dude.
like,
Their eggplant chips.
even the pizza.
The
Pizza,
Sicilian.
Sicilian's great.
Yeah, I love the mushroom. The mushroom's one of my favorite.
But those eggplant chips. Oh
He
my
has
crap.
Yeah,
a
it's
fried chicken
addictive.
sandwich that's really good over there. Yeah, he does a good job. We're actually supposed to be doing a podcast at his restaurant soon.
He had a good
Okay.
bottle of wine too. He had some organic wine that he gave us at one time. The leader, he gave us the big bottle. Remember that? That was some pretty good stuff, man.
Yeah.
And that was funny because the quick story about that is we went out to, so my wife and I don't know if
She was pregnant. Well, this is
No.
this is when you like weren't telling anybody.
Ava,
No, my wife was pregnant.
your wife was pregnant.
Yeah, because it was last year we did the podcast with Mike.
Yeah,
and
so
like,
his
that's
wife
what
was
we went.
pregnant. My wife was pregnant, but nobody knew. So we went out to dinner, a double date, and we got this big bottle of wine, and Eric and I were drinking, and we poured a glass for my wife. And now, while my wife was pregnant, she had some wine. Like, she wasn't getting drunk, but occasionally she had a half a glass of wine or something. Like, if she had a stressful day, which is totally fine. But we were going out. We didn't want anybody to know yet because we didn't tell anybody. So Kaylee was drinking. Like, she took a little sip, but then I would like when they weren't looking, I would like. So there was like this game that Kelly and I would play where she would order a drink, and then I would have a glass of wine. She would order a cocktail, and then put a straw in it. And I'd be like, hey, let me try your cocktail. And then I would suck like half of it down. And then people would be like, oh, Kelly, you drank half the cocktail. Like,
How long that lasts?
so I think so it was funny because they didn't know. And then when we told them, I went back. I'm like, yeah, you remember that?
I was like, hey, can we have a cigar? And she was like, oh, I don't really feel too well. I don't feel too good. Just like, all right, yeah, we should go home. And then it was like, yeah.
and
Kelly's
later
pregnant.
on, I told him, and then I was like, you remember that time? He goes, I thought she wasn't drinking.
I was like, she's a wine drinker. I was like, she
Marissa
wasn't
and I
drinking
were
the
wondering
wine.
why she was like kind of babying it. Yeah.
Because my wife
But-
doesn't really drink, so I know Kelly and Justin always drink wine. So I'm like, she's not really drinking too much
Well,
wine.
I
tonight.
love wine. I love
Yeah.
wine. So
What's
you
you
said
go
you're-
to?
So we drink a lot of Italian.
Okay.
We were cab drinkers. We started off as just California cabs, like pretty much a lot of people do, and we worked our way up into some nice cabs. Like we were drinking Frank Family, we were drinking Joseph Phelps was another one. I wasn't really a big Camus guy.
I mean, when they had vintages, it was
Yeah,
good. Now it's too sweet.
Well, my buddy, that's the sommelier, says that every Camus, he goes, it has to be at least 5 years old. Because a lot of times they'll give you one that's like 2019 or 2022.
That's
and
what
he's
I'm
like,
saying. Yeah.
it's like it's not old enough.
No, the current
He
vintage
goes,
is
you pour it, it's too sweet. He goes, you got to let it sit. It's got 5-10 years and it's good. But we would have some nice cabs, right? And then we were going to Italy for our honeymoon. We were spent 2 weeks in Italy, just going from the north all the way to the south. And so we started trying to like work our way into Italian wines. And then when we got into Italy, all we drank was Italian wines, obviously, and we never looked back. We've just been in love with Italian wines, and we actually have some French now too because my buddy the sommelier, his restaurant is a French restaurant. He's got a lot of French, Bordeaux and stuff.
Right.
So we'll dip into some French, but we almost exclusively drink Italian, and it's all different types of Italian. We'll do Chiantis, we'll do Barolos, Brunellos, we'll do Super Tuscans, but I love Italian wines, and the best part about it is the DOCG. You don't really get a hangover from it, which is nice. There's not as much sugar as some of the California cabs that are loaded with.
Forget it.
I feel like a bag of dicks when you wake up in the morning.
Nothing worse.
I drink based on what I'm craving. So if I want something that's a little bit more on the fruitier side, not as tannic, I'll go more like California Cab. But if I want something drier, with not too much fruit on it, I'll go either like a Bordeaux or Super Tuscan. So it's all based on what I'm craving and what I'm like. Even when it comes to smoking, depending on what I'm craving, that's what I'll grab.
Well, see, that's kind of why because we don't like if I want something sweet, I granted I will dip into some California Cabs, like you said, for some sweetness, right? But I'm not really a big sweet drinker guy. Yeah. I drink bourbon, just straight bourbon, or I'll drink some Italian wines, right? You get a little bit more of a drier. The Bordeaux are definitely dry, but I don't really like the sweet drinks. If I'm on a sweet drink, I'm just gonna get some fruity ass cocktail that's just loaded with sugar, right?
That's why I'm not crazy about Pinot Noirs. I'd rather drink Burgundy.
Drink that. Yeah, I'll just drink. That's why we like a lot of the drier stuff.
Yeah, I just kind of give me a Chianti,
and I think it goes
specifics.
really well with some cigars, right? Especially if you have a cigar like our Blueprint. Our Blueprint has a leather body. It has some like dark, some like espresso in there. But there is the Mexican San Andreas wrapper has a little bit of sweetness on it, and that little bit of sweetness will go well with the dryness of the wine. Because if you have sweet and sweet, it's a little too much. But if you have a little sweetness from the cigar, you have a little bit of that dark, the dark chocolates in there. Goes chocolate and wine's good, so they pair well. Yeah. And then the same thing if you have like the nice a dry wine and you get this steak that's got a little bit of like oily in there. It's good because you have the dryness. I just love it. I think it's a great combo.
Well, like when you look at wine and steak, the protein binds with the tannin, so it does help mellow out the wine as well too.
Yeah.
So, but like I don't know if you ever tried like a Zinfandel or Petite Sirah with a cigar.
Not with a cigar, but I've had that.
It goes amazing.
A Zinfandel, huh?
Yeah. Because you get a little bit of spice in there too, and you get fruit as well. So, but it pairs amazing with cigars.
Damn.
Talk to me. So your restaurant, One Rare.
Before I want I just want to get some little restaurants. So you said Popatina in Westchester, but in the city, what's a go-to restaurant?
I don't think I really went out many places. I mean, go-tos would be in Brooklyn. Like I would go to Sahara if I was craving like Turkish. So
Sahara,
Turkish, huh?
Yeah. I don't know if it's there still, but it was there for a long time. We used to go there at least maybe once every 2 weeks.
I feel like.
Do you like Greek food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just had my wife just made some like gyro stuff.
We got a couple of great Greek restaurants out here. Like there's Lamani, which is a good one, and then there's another one. I love Simi.
I love the tzatziki sauce.
Yeah,
just put tzatziki sauce on anything. Damn,
Simi actually just opened up in Northport, and they have some cigar dinners too. A good Greek spot. Yeah.
Okay.
Kima is another one that's in Roslyn.
Yeah.
I like the keftedes, the meatballs, the Greek meatballs, and then the halloumi cheese with the honey on it, and feta's a big thing in Greek too. Like
I feel like since I moved to Westchester, which was like 4 years ago, I feel like, and I'm probably off, but I feel like there's been like an overcoming amount of Albanians everywhere. Owning restaurants, they're over here.
The takeover.
No, I'm serious. Like they own like all like Little Italy. It's all like Albanian. Westchester's Albanian now. Even in Eastchester, they put up the Albanian flags.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what is the?
It's either restaurants or construction.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What do you do? I make construction. I'm a union delegate.
Because I'm like, damn. I just keep meeting more and more Albanians, and I've never met as many more Albanians in the last 4 years in my whole life.
The thing is, they came to this country, worked hard, and just ended up getting the American dream. So.
Yeah. We had
I see with my uncles. They legit.
We had a DJ guy, not a DJ, like a nightlife.
Beck Lover.
Yeah, of course. My cousin.
That's your cousin?
No.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. Mention the restaurants to him. See what he says.
No.
I think I have his number.
Call him right now.
I think I have his number. I don't know if he'll answer it. It's been a few years since we had him
call
on.
Him.
Here, hook up your Bluetooth to the.
But every Albanian that I've met, If I FaceTime, should I FaceTime him?
FaceTime.
Every Albanian that I've met, Beck Lever, yeah, no, like my barber's
Your
Albanian.
cousin?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if he
Like
answers.
first cousin?
No, not first.
Oh, but
Because he gave us a lot of insight on Albanians in the Kosovo War and the
Right.
Bronx is burning. So
are you FaceTiming him right now?
yeah, I'm gonna FaceTime him right now. Let's see if he answers. This is hilarious. You'd be like, who the fuck is FaceTiming right now?
I hope he picks up.
Oh, unavailable. Damn.
damn.
Oh, we'll record a video. Ready? Let's say 3, 2, 1. This is Beck. What's up, brother? We're on the podcast with, I think, a familiar face of yours.
What's up?
Your cousin. We just found out he's your cousin.
Give us a call.
Yeah, give us a call back, bro. There's Justin.
What's up, Beck?
Long time no see, brother. Hope all is well. That's so funny. How
Dude,
you can leave like video messages. That's hilarious.
What are the fucking odds, dude?
That's
Yeah, we
so-
had him. We had him
Yeah.
a while ago, over a year ago. We had
Yeah,
him on the
a
show.
couple of years. He reached out to me and he was like, "You want to talk about?" He was like, "I love cigars, and you want to talk about this, talk about that." I'm like, "Yeah." And he came out here. He's got the
Yeah,
big
he's
beard.
huge on cigars.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's
smoking. Every time I see him, he's smoking in the car. Or
he's a big. He likes to dance. He's a big dancer.
Yeah, he's a nightlife guy.
Yeah,
big
big
yeah,
nightlife guy.
Yeah.
He used to own the club where they shot "Hate Me Now" with Nas and Diddy. I was like, damn, that's fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That's so funny. That's so funny. But yeah, every Albanian that I ever meet, and once we got talking, I'm like, you ever know Beck Lover? And they're like, yeah, of course, because he's a big podcast guy,
Yeah,
social
he's
media
big,
guy.
yeah.
So that's so funny. That's so fun,
wild, dude.
Yeah.
great guy.
Yeah, good stuff.
So tell me about your restaurant. One Rare. Okay, Italian Steakhouse. What's like a specialty dish? Like promote the restaurant a little bit. Tell people like what's some of your signature plates that if people are coming to your restaurant, you got to get this plate. You got to try this appetizer. You got like what are some of the
What's an ideal experience?
yeah, like
So the
if you
thing
go
is-
in here, you get this app, you got to
Right.
get this entree, this dessert, right?
So the thing is, even when it came to the design of the restaurant, we didn't want to go old school steakhouse. We wanted to have a vibe. We wanted to, the younger generation is taking over. We wanted, you saw how it looks. There's not much dark wood. We got the tree
More
in the
modern.
middle. Yeah, it's more modern. Everything from the music to the decor, and I wanted to do the same thing with the dishes. So if you look at a steakhouse menu, 98% of the appetizers are seafood. The
True.
only thing that's not seafood is the bacon.
True. Yep.
So with this, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to, make it a little bit playful. So you got like the trio mac and cheese. You have the sliders, the Wagyu sliders. So there's a whole different options that you can get as appetizers.
Yeah, because that's a good point. Because if you go to a steakhouse and you don't like seafood, you can't get any appetizers.
AKA my wife, who's allergic.
Yeah, you get
I mean,
bacon. That's it.
You either
Or
have
salad.
there's mussels, there's the raw bar, there's shrimp cocktail, there's crab, there's calamari.
They always
there's
have like
octopus.
the wedge salad
It
with
was
the
like,
blue
yeah.
cheese.
Seafood platters. That's
Yeah.
like the staple.
Although
like
listen, I
appetizer.
love a good
What's
seafood
the
tower,
appetizer
dude.
that you have? It's hot. My wife and I ordered it the first
Crab
time. No, it wasn't crab cake. It was spicy. She was like, "Oh, this is a little spicy."
Was the calamari with the sauces?
Was it? No, she's allergic to it. What the heck was it?
Spicy.
Well, you guys keep talking. I'll pull it up.
Yes.
but,
Okay. So you wanted to put a
So,
little bit of a spin. and
Yeah.
not
So
do
like
all
I said,
this.
even the calamari doesn't come with marinara sauce. It's a Thai chili sauce and a chipotle aioli that comes as dipping sauce.
Oh, okay.
Even with the calamari, the breading's different. There's cornmeal mixed to it with seasoning. So I wanted to make everything like you want to make it a little different, and at the same time, like the fishes, like you look at a fish in the steakhouse, it's just a piece of fish in a plate.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. I want the dishes to be
The
plated.
whole branzino that everybody.
Yeah. So like the sea bass. Sea bass is one of the hottest sellers. People love it. So it's plated the way where it's like it's a red pepper puree in the bottom with a potato gratin, the sea bass on top, and grilled asparagus. So it looks like a complete dish. It's not just a slab of fish on a plate, and all the balances they work together.
Yeah, these are some of the appetizers that you can hear. I'm talking about the mozzarella and corozo.
Oh yeah.
So the appetizers are thick cut bacon, mozzarella and corozo, roasted artichoke and goat cheese, trio mac and cheese, claims arroganato, crispy calamari, Wagyu sliders and crab cake, and then sesame crusted tuna. So a little bit of variation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I said, everything's plated, so it visually looks good. Like
Yeah.
same thing with the crab cake. It's there's a sauce in the bottom with a warm corn salsa, the crab cake, and then fried onion straws on top. So there's texture,
I might
there's
get
flavor.
like crab cake and the mac and cheese might be. And
Yeah,
and
the mac and cheese is
sliders,
really good. The
dude.
mac and cheese,
Fire,
it's just a
fire.
regular mac and cheese, and it's a truffle and a short rib. So that's the
Fire.
trio.
Fire. We saved the mac and cheese for the appetizer. We don't
All
want
right.
to
So
get
now
the
talk to
appetizer.
me about entrees here. Talk to me about entrees.
So the steaks you can't really do much to it. And
how many different cuts do you have?
So we have the porterhouses. It's the 2, 3. It's for 2, for 3, and for 4. We got the ribeye, the fillet, a bone-in fillet, which a lot of places don't have because it is pricey to get, And when you get the whole tenderloin with the bone in, you don't get much out of it. You get probably 4 or 5 pieces. So and then the lamb chops. Then the lamb chops are one of my favorites. I dry aged the lamb chops for 2.5 weeks.
I love lamb
they're,
chops.
They're
dude.
not as gamey, and like I said, you get a little bit of a hint of the dry age. And I keep in the walk box 2.5 weeks.
To come with applesauce.
No, applesauce.
Bro,
I love lamb chops with applesauce.
No,
I feel like that I'm already putting my order together. It's gonna,
Bro, it's so good.
I'm gonna go
it's
ham.
fine. There's so you have One Rare, then your family has Benjamin Steakhouse, Ben and Jack's. Is there any others within your family in the local area?
There's I mean, like family that owns. There's Wolfgang's is another one. Then they have like a few other steakhouses in the city.
Any outside of the tri-state of New York, like in other parts of the country, or
Yeah, they have them all over the world.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Damn. So your
Yeah.
family's all over.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying I was
pretty
blessed
cool.
to grow up around them because I was able to learn. That's
Wow.
what the things. I learned firsthand. This is not something that I went to culinary school and then just came out and worked in the kitchen.
You got
This is-
infield experience.
Oh yeah, of course.
Do you guys ever compete with each other? Like,
No,
hey,
no.
we did better this year. We did
No,
better this
no,
year.
never. No, we never. Family gatherings is just family.
Yeah,
No.
that's really cool.
Keep everything separate, and just when we get together, it's just just enjoying the time together.
Family, yeah.
That's it.
Where internationally do you have like your family have restaurants?
They're like I said, they're all over. They're in Japan. They're in
Wow.
Yeah, they're in Singapore, all over.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So no, if I ever go to Japan or Singapore, I have to hit you up and be like, yo, where's your family at? That's a sick hookup to go all the way across the country and be like,
Singapore, dude. I'm dropping my cigar left and right.
yo, come on, get it together, bro.
Yo, look, even at the end, it's
I know it's still rocking, man. The cigar, but
does it taste burnt?
No, again the
No,
draw
it's
is
great. It's
still
great.
ample, and the smoke has been creamy.
Yeah.
The freaking ample amount of smoke. It's been
All right,
perfect.
go back to the food. All right,
Yeah.
let's go back to the food. Okay.
So I want to go to Singapore just to say, hey, I'm friends with Chef Amir. Let me get a
probably-
reservation.
Well, I feel
like,
like if
who?
we go to
Yeah.
Singapore,
Yeah.
we gotta be like, hey, are you going to Singapore? Let's go together. Okay.
You'd be like, who? We don't like that motherfucker. Get out of here.
Okay, so we got the appetizers, steaks. What other entrees?
So if you like
For people that
the
don't like
the
steak,
ribeye.
which-
Without steak. So the fishes are we have two. It's the sea bass and the salmon. So the salmon, I'm using organic salmon from New Zealand. So the texture is completely different, and it's served like I said, it's plated. So it's a beurre blanc on the bottom with roasted Brussels sprouts, home fries, and then the salmon on top. The whole dish just comes together.
I like salmon too, dude.
Yeah, but like I said, it's not like a Canadian cheap quality salmon.
No,
I'm
it's-
getting high quality ingredients.
Isn't
Everything
salmon? Isn't salmon not supposed to be pink either? Isn't that like what do they do with salmon?
with the farm raised.
The farm raised, right?
Yeah, they pretty much like the dyes make them darker.
They inject it, yeah.
Yeah, because
So
I've
they
seen
have
like the
they
farms.
have the feed that changes the color.
And what does that preserve them longer?
I don't in a sense think preserve them longer, just give them the texture that people are used to. Like
And
that
is it
deep red.
true that so if you have farm raised versus wild caught, when you look at the lines in the salmon, you can see if it's farm raised because the lines are perfectly spaced out because of the feeding cycles. But if you look at a wild caught, the lines are like the spacing is all because it's some seasons they didn't eat as much as other seasons,
Right.
so it's like as they grow, they're so you like if you-
Intestines and
yeah,
stuff.
like if you look at like a salmon when you cook it, right? You see like there's like the wiggly lines when you
Yeah.
open it up. If you look at wild caught, it's all weird spacing because it's in the wild. It's not, but the farm raised, it's like it's fed 12 o'clock every day, so it's like everything is perfectly even. It's like that's not how it should look. And they're not all exactly the same. If you look at the farm raised, every piece of salmon looks exactly the same. That's not how it should look.
Wow.
Th- That's why when it came to open this spot, all the ingredients had to be top notch. You can't cut corners when you're trying to provide a good quality product. So like I said, even everything from the fish had to be the right one. We tried different ones. You can't freeze products because the moment you start thawing and you start denaturing the product,
you can
it
taste
flakes differently.
Mm.
It just an overall different mouthfeel. So
Wow.
everything is down to the quality.
Wow.
Now, what did you do with the desserts? I know you don't like to bake, but what did you do with the desserts?
So
Did you design, but like did you create the desserts or did you have somebody?
The original dessert menu I wanted to do required a pastry chef, and we just didn't have the space for it at that time. So now slowly we're moving more towards like home, like baked products. So like our brownie, we get the brownie
Good.
homemade, and it's baked after midnight. It's one of the best.
Oh yeah, shout out
yeah.
to Baked After Midnight.
Yeah, so it's one of the hottest sellers. So people like those homemade desserts. So we're moving slowly more towards that
I
direction.
like that.
it's really good. Yeah, it's.
Dude, I
it's
need
about-
that. I need to
So,
go here.
so besides being a chef, owning a restaurant, smoking cigars, bourbon, wines, what else do you like? Do you like hunting, camping? Do you like fishing? What else?
There's too many hobbies that I can't fit in my schedule. Fishing, I love fishing. Just haven't had the time to because I fell in love with golf now. So
Oh yeah. Okay. So golfing.
Let's talk about golf.
So funny story about fishing. One time we went out to Montauk and I brought Justin.
for striped bass.
Yeah. He had a rough
I had a
rough
rough
day.
go- I had a rough
He
go
got
with it.
seasick the whole time. He was
Damn.
out like a light.
That diesel hit me.
Yeah, that's I
Diesel.
think that's one of the worst things I ever did was buy a boat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know the two best days that you buy a boat are the day that you buy it, and the day you
sell
sell it.
Yeah. It's been sitting at City Island for the past 2 years. I think I used it 6 times.
Wow. What kind of boat is it?
It's an outboard motor. It's a 17-footer. So I think I took it out fishing twice.
Wow.
So
Come on,
there's no time.
There's the. I mean, it's a 17 foot.
It's not that big.
You could do like a private cigar dinner on the water over
Yeah,
there.
4 people.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Hey,
Private.
it don't matter. My brother-in-law's got a little like pontoon thing down in Texas that he just takes out on the lake. It's like a glorified rowboat, dude. It's
Yeah.
just a big open boat, like couple seats, right? And then he's got the engine on the back. Just throw a cooler on there. And the funny story with that was we were went down for a
Justin has a story. No way. Let's hear
I
it.
know. So we went to we took the boat out, right? We rented a house on the lake, and you got to drop the boat in over where the
Yeah.
wherever it is, the ramp, the boat ramp. So you drop it in, we drive it all the way around, we dock it, and now we're just jumping off the dock, we're hanging at the boat, we're drinking, we're floating around in the lake. And then we were going to take the boat back, right? So it's like, okay, the older people, you can stay here. We're going to take the boat back. We'll take it out of the water and we'll bring it home. But as we were driving it away, we got about maybe, I don't know, 100 yards off the dock, and the boat dies. And we're like,
Dies?
dies, like just
Like
done.
the battery died or
like died, like engine died. I'm like, so now we're trying to fix it. We're trying to we hop into it, trying to fix it, can't get it started. I'm like, well, shit, we're like a mile and a half from the boat ramp. So I'm like, all right. So my brother-in-law takes out straps. He straps the front of the boat. He throws it in. I jump into the front. He jumps into the back, put the straps on, and I start swimming.
what?
And now, granted, it's not a 17-foot boat. It's maybe it's like maybe the size of this room, maybe a little bit less, but like it's not a big, heavy boat. It's a open concept. But we're just like swimming, and he's like he's got on the back, he's fluttering his legs, and I'm just swimming like this, and we swim this boat
For over
That's
a mile.
crazy.
no, not all. We swim back to the dock like 100 yards,
Oh,
and
God.
and just anchor it and dock it up there. And like we'll figure it out in the morning. But I'm like, we look at each other and go, we got to get. Well, he's like, yep. I'm like, all right,
That's crazy.
hopped in there, and just like, ooh.
That's
just
crazy.
Just keep. I'm like, I guess I don't have to work out today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the best workout. Full body
Bro,
workout right
just,
there.
Just pulled this. I towed the boat back to the dock.
Seriously, you're a
That's
tugboat master.
nuts.
Bro,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
The my last question for you: when you walk into a restaurant with your family to go eat, how do you know it's either going to be a good experience at the restaurant, or there's signs it's going to be like not so good experience? Is there like red flags or like tells that you can pick up on?
I mean, when you're in the restaurant business, you do over observe.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I know what goes into owning a restaurant and the hard work and the amount of money that goes into it. So I try not to judge like that.
Sure.
So if we do have a bad experience, I just won't say anything. I just won't go back.
Mm.
So it's not like I'm over here nitpicking on everything.
Yeah.
Because there's a
That's a
lot.
good
You're not
point.
leaving
That's a
Yelp
lot. Good
reviews.
point.
No. There's a lot that goes into owning a space, and it's people have families in there. If somebody invested their house in there, so it's a lot of work that goes into it. And I'm not there to bash them.
Sure.
So,
And you know what too? Is
No,
like,
that's a good
I-
take.
I find that, like when I look
can I
back.
get one of the blueprints?
Oh yeah.
Smoke a blueprint, baby. Let's go.
When I look back, I don't think I've ever really had like a bad experience at a restaurant. Like I'll have stuff where I'm like, you know what, maybe I don't really like this food, so I won't go back to the restaurant. But like an absolute where I was like, oh my gosh, like that was the worst meal I've ever had in my life. I don't know if I've ever had that in a restaurant. might have had some dishes where I'm like, maybe
No,
I
I
do.
haven't wow.
But I was never like, you know what, this like to the point where I'm gonna go and say that food sucked, and I'm gonna tell everybody. I've never had something like that.
Yeah.
And I've always able to, okay, I'll try to pick something. I'm like, all right, at least the wine was pretty good, or that appetizer was pretty good. Yeah, the entree wasn't for me. But I also take a little bit of ownership on it too, because I go, maybe I just picked a dish that wasn't for me. Maybe I picked the I don't know, something swordfish. I picked swordfish. I'm like, maybe I. Doesn't mean the whole menu's bad. Maybe that swordfish just doesn't sit with me. It's the same way where I'll say if you smoke a cigar and you don't like the first, wait a little bit, come back, try it again. Because maybe that day you had something to eat or you were drinking something and it didn't really pair well. So maybe that cigar, maybe it was just a bad one. The roll wasn't that good. It wasn't humidified properly. Come back, have it again. So like if I go to a restaurant and I'm like, I didn't really. I'll come back and say, okay, last time I got this, let me try something different. Last time I got the fish, let me try the steak this time. And if I don't like that, I'll say, okay, maybe that I'm not.
Yeah, it's not really. I'm not really the food, but more like the
ambiance,
the people.
Yeah, the people
like the
too.
atmosphere. Like
that can make or break a restaurant.
100%.
That's really what I'm. That's
100%, yes.
really what I'm getting. Not necessarily the food. Like if it's not a good food place, it's not a good food place. Like you could have great people, but not good food.
And I feel like if you have the ambiance and the wait staff and the people,
makes the food better.
It makes the food better.
Yeah.
You'll I don't want to say put up with, but you'll kind of look past some of the maybe little idiosyncrasies of the meal. You'll just kind of brush those aside if the ambiance is good. But if the ambiance is bad and the wait staff is bad, you'll nitpick.
Oh,
You'll be like,
100%.
I don't really like
Yeah, that's what I was really. That was like what I was really
Yeah.
engaged.
Like, if you ever think about this, you go to a restaurant and let's say you sit there for let's say 10 minutes. That 10 minutes feels to you that you've been there for half an hour.
Yes.
That's
Feels
one of the
forever, dude.
worst things. That's why.
That's what I hate. Waiting. Like you get seated. All right, someone's and you're like, it's been 15 minutes. No one's about to come in.
The waiting
That's
is
the thing.
like 10x.
Yeah.
Is that
in
an
a
emphasis?
restaurant.
That's an emphasis in One Rare Op. I mean, you guys are like on the ball.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there's
I
a
mean-
million guys like, oh, there's breadcrumbs. Oh, I'll take this off. Oh, you guys are done. But you guys are on top.
You know,
of
it's
it,
funny because it's almost there's like a scientific principle about, not to get all mathematical and physics here,
Mathematical,
right? But they talk about how time isn't constant, how time can feel faster and feel slower in different scenarios, right? It's the same thing right now. We've been talking for an hour and a half, and it felt like 10 minutes. But at a restaurant, 10 minutes of silence with no wait staff could feel like an hour and a half.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like how perfect example, like that you sit down for 10 minutes, and it's like, oh, it's a fucking eternity. But if you spend an hour and a half with the woman that you love having quality time, it could feel like it just flew by. So
It's Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that's why, like when the customer does come in, even if the waiter's busy, another waiter will jump in. They'll help out. So it's a team sport.
Sure.
do you have a single wait staff, or you have pairs? You do
No, single.
single.
So they get a station.
Yeah,
They get a station. Then, like I said, if they're overwhelmed, even I'll jump in.
I kind of like the single, and I know service industry loves the single.
Yeah.
My wife used to work at a pairs where they had two. They had a front and a back. And she's like, it sucks because you have to split your tips.
Yeah, you
Every
split
table you
everything.
split your tips. She's like, but it's fucking annoying. She's like, single it's easy because you know what you know what conversation was had with every single table. But you don't, if you have a front and a back, you don't know what the front said to the person, and now it's a mess.
And I mean, the waiter builds a dinner as well too.
Yeah.
It's the personality. It's you. That's why, like I said, it's not just the waiting; it's the service. Everything can just, if it goes downhill from the start, now you're just picking on everything else.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. It's
Even
like
the-
the
even the
concept
greeting.
of what's
Even
that?
the greeting when they first walk in,
Yeah.
nobody speaks to them or anything. Forget it.
Every little bit.
It all counts.
It
Mhm.
all counts.
Everyone wants to feel important. Is there like some like other restaurants? I feel like sometimes they're like rushing you. Like you come in, you get out, you're in and you're out in like an hour, and you're like, holy shit! It's like, was that on purpose or is that just because they're fast?
Yeah, I don't like. I hate.
Is
feeling
there
rushed.
is there
I
like
hate
a
it.
science or is there like a I don't know what you look for, like a guide where you're like, all right, this table, if it's here for more than 2 hours and they're just sitting around, we're losing X amount of money, or as long as they're ordering drinks and ordering food, it's okay. Is there like is there like a philosophy around that, or not really?
I mean, there's places that, like I said, there's a lot of places that do give you a time limit. They'll say 90 minutes per reservation,
which I've been to. Yeah.
But I mean, we really don't do that. We base the courses on how people order it. So if they're finished with the appetizers, we'll fire the main course. So it's unless the customer says, hey, can you give us a few minutes between courses? So it's not that we're being pushy. It's just that's how it flows.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate feeling rushed, dude.
Well, like you said, like I've been to restaurants like, all right, yeah, it's you have a 90-minute window, and I'm like, fuck, like I don't want to. I feel like rushed. It's like you have. That's like your wife telling you have 30 minutes with this cigar. You're like, oh fuck, I gotta fucking go through this shit.
I hate feeling rushed because it ruins the experience.
Yeah,
I want to enjoy the whole experience.
Yeah,
and listen, I get
that's
it.
where you go out to dinner. You go for the experience.
And I get it from a business side of it too. It's like, listen, if you have that table, let's say you're open from 5 to midnight. You have 7 hours. Okay. A single table for 7 hours, you could probably turn it over 4 times, maybe, right?
Give or take.
Give or take 4 times. But if you have the first seating, they sit down, and now they're at the 2.5 hour mark, you're like, I'm kind of losing a whole nother. And I get it. However, if they're having like a grand old time, and they're ordering drinks, they got another bottle of wine, I'm like, take it. Keep it all freaking night if you want.
Yeah.
Like if you're ordering drinks and they come back like, how is everything good? Would you like me to bring the check or anything? No, you know what? We're gonna get another bottle of wine. Cool, no problem. Bring another bottle. You want a little, maybe add another a little dessert? Because sometimes you'll be sitting there, you have the appetizer, you have the entree, and then they're just hanging out. Like, hey, we're gonna just chill, we're having some drinks. And then somebody says, hey, you know what? I want a little. Can you bring another one of those appetizers? Next thing bring another appetizer.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole experience, and they'll come back like, yo, we were at this restaurant for like 3 hours. We had 5 bottles of wine. We had a blast. It's so good. And it's like you're just letting them hang out. Letting them enjoy it, right? But to some people that they sit there and then they have their final glass and like, just give us a couple minutes. And next thing you know, they sat for another hour and they didn't order anything. You're like, all right, come on, guy.
Yeah, get the hell out of it.
Like, I don't want to be the dick, but like, that's where you kind of just come over and you just like
drop a check
whenever you're ready. Okay, like
yep.
You gotta have to force the hand a little bit.
Like, in there.
I need to get somebody else. I'm running a business, not a charity case. I need to get somebody else on this table. So there's like that happy medium. But as long as you're having a good time,
that's what it is. And like I said, I mean the flow of service. I mean, you'll get tables. I'll stay 3-4 hours. But they're enjoying themselves. I'm not going to tell them, kicking them out.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the principle. As long as they're enjoying themselves and it's you're getting this or getting that. As long as they're not doing like a glass of water and it's been like an hour and they're like, really?
Yeah, if I'm staying, I'm always like,
you're getting a little something.
At least every 15 minutes. Hey, can you give me another?
You need a little bread basket or whatever. Question.
Or I don't mean to add one more thing to add to that. Or I'll make sure that the tip reflects. Like if I know that we stayed there for a little extra, I'll be like, hey, listen, I appreciate you letting us hang out for a little bit longer. Add a little extra on the tip for the server because I know like the restaurant. Okay, the restaurant you can make up for it, but the server is like, listen, he's losing another table.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
reflect it.
Yeah. You're 20%. I'll give you 40% or something.
Is there a definition for tip? You ever hear what the definition of tip is?
I mean, it's like in a sense where you don't have to.
It's I mean like the actual word
acronym.
Tip, the acronym for tip. Apparently, the myth that I've always heard, aka from my father, tip means thank you in payment. Because if you have a good tip, it means
that makes sense.
Thank you in payment.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, they're like, "Is that really what it means?" I said, "It means."
Did you know in other parts of the world they don't tip?
No,
they don't. We're like one of the only, not one of the only countries, but we're a country that does.
And they know that we tip.
Yeah.
Like when we were in Italy, we wouldn't tip, but they know that we're American. They're like, "Oh, here, you can put the tip right here." I'm like, I know that you guys don't tip, but you know that I'm American, so you're gonna say, yeah, no problem, you can put the tip here.
No, that's how it is. Even when I was in France, same thing.
Yeah,
they would come with that small machine, and they were like, you pick what tip you want, and
that's funny.
And then if you don't leave it, they know that you know accustomed to tip.
They know that you know.
Yeah.
But when you hire like a new waiter or part of your staff, like my brother. Have you ever heard of the Lombardi's, Mama Lombardi's Italian restaurant?
Yeah.
There are a few restaurants on Long Island. They're very big and popular. My brother worked at Mama Lombardi's for a few amount of years in college.
Couple amount of years.
Yeah. But he had to take a test before he was a waiter. He had to take a test about the menu. He had to take like a internal Mama Lombardi's test, and he had to pass it before he got like promoted to waiter. Is there something that
if someone's coming in as a waiter, there is a 3-day training process, and I can tell if somebody's going to be a waiter or not. Because if they're coming in with experience as a waiter, especially in the steakhouse, they'll know what they're doing. And you can tell right away. But other than that, if you don't have experience as a waiter, you're coming in as like either a busboy.
You start from like
Yeah,
like
you start,
did.
yeah.
It's
Gotcha.
like
Start off somewhere.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a big difference between like fine dining, waiting,
White
fine dining
table,
service,
white table service.
and like Cheesecake Factory or something.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. Once you start getting into specials, and you have to remember specials.
Yeah.
It's not just that, but not even wines.
And
Like
the wine, you have to know the wines. You have to know how to pour it, how to open it,
Yep.
right? You have to, and then you have to know the specials, and you have to know how to properly serve. And
I think
and
it's
like
bizarre.
the same thing when you don't just
Bizarre.
put a plate down, right? When you have the side dishes, you have to serve out. The
yep.
like that's a whole nother
Ball game.
Not just like, all right, who ordered the burger and fry? Bang, bang. Like it's a whole different ball game. Then
And
somebody says, "Oh, do you recommend a wine?" Oh, you have to know a little bit about the wines, and then if they go a little, okay, let me get to someone. Yeah, he'll come in and. Or like the beverage manager, whatever you have.
Like
But
I know it comes with
a whole big different
experience,
thing.
but like when the waiters, they don't have like a book. They're like, all right, you ordered this, you ordered that. Oh, the special is blah 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 blah. We have this, and I'm like, where's your pen and paper? Like, oh,
They
it's all
say
here.
it a million times.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, you
That's
got.
how I take orders. Like if I need to jump in, I won't even write it down. I just it's in my
We've
head.
done
and
it a
it's
million.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I always find that impressive. So that's reflected in the thank you and payment. I'm like, nah, that was cool. That was cool. You like?
I love I love when people do that.
Yeah.
When they come in, they're just like bang bang. They're not writing anything down.
Or
They're just
like
bang, bang,
they
bang.
deliver the plates and the person's like giving them the wrong. They're like, no, that person ordered this person ordered that, and that. I'm like,
Yeah, that's the
damn.
worst thing I hate. It's called like auctioning off items.
Yeah.
Who's got the ribeye? Who's got? I hate that.
That's hilarious. But think we're coming. Yeah, what are we at? Hour and a half, right? What are we at?
Hour and 39 minutes. Yeah.
Damn, hour
Damn,
and
that
a
went
half.
quick.
Yeah.
I told you it
goes
once
wild.
you get in the zone, we could have continued for.
These are really good, by the way.
Oh, thank you,
Oh,
dude.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I
man.
love Mexican San Andreas wrapper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I said no diligence for Admir. Only blueprints.
Yeah.
He's not a light
Like I
cigar
said,
guy.
if I was to make my own cigar, it would be Mexican San Andreas wrapper, and then the binder would be from the Jalapa region, and
Nicaragua,
then and then the filler from Omotepe. That would be my
Okay.
ultimate cigar.
Well, man.
So it sounds like you might have.
Sounds
something-
like are you making a cigar?
No.
He's like, I got enough on my plate.
No.
I don't. No pun intended. I don't want to.
Now we're opening a new spot, so it's now that's another project. So
Where's
You
that?
opening the spot?
in Scarsdale, yeah, it's gonna be a gourmet sandwich spot.
Oh,
So it's gonna be gourmet
shit.
sandwiches, wings, and salads. But
Hell
it's
yeah.
like taking my fine dining experience and compressing it to like fast food in a sense.
Is there a name for it?
Yeah, it's called the press.
The press.
Yeah. So you'll have the options to get everything pressed. So it's gonna
Oh,
be
I
more
love a good
textured.
a little panini.
Well,
Nice.
whatever you want, sandwiches and everything. So I'll do a
alright.
smash burger there. So
Fuck yeah.
You know what we might have
Yeah.
to do there? We might have to make a whole. When does this open?
we're trying to push for maybe another 2 weeks.
Oh shit! Like right
Yeah,
around
yeah,
the
yeah.
corner.
Okay, so we might
Oh,
have to
damn.
make a whole day of this. We go up there, right? We'll do lunch at the press, and then take a little cigar break.
Go there for dinner.
Go a little walk, and then do.
Just don't smoke in Scarsdale.
Don't smoke. Yeah,
'Cause you can't smoke in town.
Really?
I can smoke. I smoke my stogies wherever the fuck I want. Okay.
That's wild. I didn't know
You actually
that.
get a fine, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You know, it's funny that I don't go to my office anymore, but I have an office where his dad still goes. And years ago, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, when we first moved into that building, they had opened up the cigar lounge across the street. It used to be a deli. Deli closed down, then it opened up cigar lounge, and it was a blessing and a curse because now I can go there after work, but now I'm there after work every day, right? So for lunch, we went out for Friday, went across the street, got sushi, and then we had a cigar. And then I was like, hey, I still have my cigar. I got to go back to the office. I'm going to smoke it on the way back. So I'm walking on the way back. And then Eric, his dad, went into the office like, I'm just going to finish the stogie. So I sat out right by the entrance. So they had a couple stairs down on the side of this ledge. And I was just leaning against the ledge, smoking a cigar. Finished maybe half an hour, and then went back inside. 2 weeks later, put a sign up, says, no smoking by the building.
Really?
Yeah, dude. It says it's got to be like 100 feet from the premise. I'm like, I did that.
Yeah.
I put that sign there.
Someone was like, "There's someone smoking outside of
I
my
know,
office
I know.
building."
It was like 2 weeks later, bang, sign erected.
Well,
Anyway.
Admir, coming to the end of the podcast here, we want to kind of give you the red carpet where you can promote, even though we kind of been plugging you the whole time, but for yourself, a little promo for yourself where people can find you on social media, your restaurant, any new projects that are coming out. Kind of just plug away. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, like I said, I'm working on the new spot, the press. It's gourmet sandwiches. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna do some crazy stuff there. Like one day I'll do French fries with creme fraiche and caviar. So that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be that fine dining experience I've had compressed to that level.
Wow.
So I'm doing that, and then I have a bunch of charity events coming up. So I'm doing stuff with ARC Foundation, Feeding Westchester, doing Tony's event. So I do anywhere between 17 and 18 charity events a year.
Wow.
So yeah,
Great.
charity's big, huge for me. Anything from St. Jude's to sarcoma. So
All right.
Also,
Fantastic.
where can they find you on social media?
my Instagram is chef_Admir, and then the restaurant is One Rare Italian Steakhouse.
Bada bing,
You
bada
heard
boom.
it here. Love it.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, Amir.
This was fun.
We've been waiting for this. I'm glad you finally came out. We appreciate you coming
No,
down
thank
from
you guys. Thank
Westchester,
you.
from the
Appreciate
Bronx.
it.
You came out for 2 hours. It drove you to get down here.
It won't take
It
you
was
that long
worth
to go
it.
back, though.
Yeah,
No.
So
I'll be flying.
well, yeah. Now you can smoke the cigar. It's warm out, so you can smoke the cigar in the car. All right, if you
Oh, yeah.
want.
Do you smoke in the car?
I try not to because I have the sun in there, but I'll just air it out.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
now you have the windows
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
The secret is get an apple, cut open the apple, and leave the windows up, and it absorbs all the smoke in the car.
I haven't tried that.
Yeah, that's
All right,
it.
perfect. I gotta go to the store now. And get
Or
an apple.
Yeah.
or a
I learned that from a
or a
from an old
bowl of
friend.
vinegar.
vinegar.
Bowl of vinegar works too.
Yeah.
Bowl of
I
vinegar
feel
is
like baking soda might work too.
could do it too. It's the vinegar trick was like if you buy a house, a smoker's house, you put vinegar or the apple in all the rooms in it. The
Absorbs all.
vinegar will turn like brownish.
Yeah, I used to have a
I know
boss. He was a contractor. He would smoke the little like Al Capones and the little cigars, but he would inhale them like cigarettes. And he would smoke all those in his car. We'd go out to lunch, and he'd get an apple before and cut. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Watch when I come back." And he cut open the apple, left in his car. An hour and a half later, it was like
Oh,
black
damn.
and absorbed all the smoke. It's pretty cool. So
That's
little
good
trick
to
of the
know.
trade.
Trick.
Oh, that's
Little
cool.
trick,
Thank
yeah.
you.
But yeah, again, people, thank you for watching and listening. And Amir, thank you for your
Thank
time
you
coming
guys.
on the
Appreciate it.
podcast. We
Thank you.
appreciate you coming on. And to all watching and listening, cheers, chin chin. Salud.